Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
The Brewing Network Sunday Session is brought to you by the badasses at More Beer. Visit them at morebeer.com.
I want people to believe in me, and I want people to believe in me when they taste my beer. That's what it's about.
You mean you laid underneath it and tried to put his tongue up the bung?
I like to actually scoop up the yeast and look at it.
7 o'clock came real early that next morning.
Oh, yeah, man. Thanks for dumbing that down for us. You did an awesome job. It's all about food and beer.
Punch me in the junk.
Man, that thing was thick.
The point is just beat it like it's your dick.
I like to smell it afterwards.
Are you being sarcastic right now?
Bring your body armor.
I ran in my jungle once on a ball valve on a kettle.
That's a true happy ending.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the program. Live from the Hop Grenade, another wonderful Monday night in Concord.
That's right.
Concord, is it afternoon or night?
I guess it's afternoon, evening. I hate
it is afternoon. I mean, it's 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. Technically, any time after 12 p.m., I suppose.
Right.
The time change is not good for my psyche. It feels...
I hate it.
You didn't enjoy your extra hour?
No. Who needs an extra hour? What I need is more daylight. It's dark at, 2 p.m. now, it feels like?
Yeah.
But that's going to happen no matter what time it is.
My child has woken up at 4:30 a.m. every single day since the time change.
That's rough.
It's been retarded.
Yeah.
That's the kid or the waking up?
Yes.
No, okay.
Both. Yeah, I don't know. Something about the just daylight Is that what it is now? It's daylight savings now?
I think we're not saving.
It's standard time.
This is normal.
I don't get it because it feels like we're trying to save daylight by getting dark early.
Right.
It's
So
stupid.
I always get confused. But then it's dark at 4 p.m. and it feels late. Like I'm ready for bed right now. That and I'm pretty sure I brought the bird flu home from Hong Kong.
Oh, SARS.
I think I have SARS or the bird flu.
What if it's just Ebola? We're fine.
It could be Ebola. I'm not sure. It's one of them, though. And it sort of ebbs and flows. Like one day I'm fine, and then the next day I'm right back to being sick as a dog again.
That might be Ebola, I think, actually.
Does that ebb and flow?
Yeah,
Do we
I
have
think
to
so.
swap bodily fluids to get SARS, or is that one that you can...
I don't remember. I don't know. But I don't think I swapped bodily fluids with anybody in Hong Kong, so I might have something that you don't swap. Not while I was conscious.
Not intentionally.
Yeah. Not while I wasn't blacked out drunk. So yeah, I'm just coughing and dying. I have weird anxiety about it then too, because I'm like, what if I did bring back something terrible? And then the Hop Grenade will go out of business because it'll be like a news article. It'll be like Concord man brings back Ebola.
Yeah. You're patient zero.
Yeah, owner of the Hop Grenade in Concord, California. Patient zero. And then no one ever wants to come to the Hop Grenade again. These are the things I think about.
Well, we'll all get locked in here with you then.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to quarantine the whole place. Yep. We do have quite a lot of beer, so it'll be a nice way to go.
It'd be a good quarantine session. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Right, and we could broadcast the whole...
Says you.
All 21 days?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 21 days of binge drinking craft beer at the Hop Grenade while we're in. We can leave, like, we won't tape up the windows or anything. It'll sort of become an attraction to watch what's going on inside.
We'll be our very own freak show.
Yeah.
Come watch the Dying Man.
And his friends.
Drink his weight in beer every day. The Dying Man.
It'd be amazing because there'll be a lot of highs and lows. Like, some days we'll be having a great time in here, and then the next day you guys will be hating me, screaming at me for ruining your lives. This is good television.
It would be good. It would be like Big Brother, but everyone loses.
Yeah. Big Ebola. Everyone loses.
We'd see who would gain the most weight from eating nothing but flatbreads for 30 days.
Oh, that's true. I feel like we would both gain and lose weight.
I'd just
because
start stashing pretzels in hidden places.
In your beard. Yeah. The tagline would be, get the virus.
I think you guys forget the part about having Ebola. I don't think anyone's putting on weight when we're all sitting around with Ebola.
I would still somehow figure out how to do it.
Okay, everybody but Bevo would stop putting on weight.
That would be the challenge.
Bevo dies fatter than ever.
Yeah, so like it's who could use...
Rude.
How does she even do that?
Right.
She died of diabetes.
Of all the
You're awful people.
of all the things that doctors would come and want to examine us for, it would be like, how the hell did she gain weight?
Yeah. Turns out she's like Hurley on Lost, and she's eating tubs of ranch dressing.
The woman has parasites in her body, and she feeds them more than they can eat. Yeah. We'd run out of flatbreads on day 2.
Our flatbreads are delicious.
We do have good flatbreads. I don't know. I hope it's not true.
Yeah, hey, you know what? Oddly enough, so do I. Yeah.
You are an idiot.
This cough is just weird. I don't know. I feel like it's not like something I've ever had before.
I think I'm patient zero because I've had the cough for 3 months.
Oh yeah,
The cough. Now it's
The cough.
Giving it to all of you guys.
Capital T, capital C.
Well, that makes me feel
cough.
better then.
Her and her kid, man, just hacking away all the time.
Yeah,
that's true.
You know, when you come back through customs, there are signs everywhere that say if you're coughing, you have to let us know. And Kate and I were just like, don't cough, don't cough, don't cough. We're not letting anybody know.
Yeah.
You're going to go sit in a room for the next 2 weeks at the airport while they decide if you have a cold or not.
That is my business.
Well, you'll probably sleep in a tent in the parking lot of the airport.
Right. That's true. So, anyway, I'm sure it's going to be fine, guys. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, you're all right.
Yeah.
You're all right.
I feel like I drink too much beer for anything to survive in my body.
That's
probably true. Good strategy.
It's the alcohol. I feel like a constant stream of alcohol going through your blood is a way to fend off disease.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's your own immune system.
Says every alcoholic ever.
Right. Yeah, good point.
You could never develop one of those breweries in your guts, like with the brewer's yeast getting trapped.
Oh, yeah, no way.
Because over like 15%, no yeast can survive, right?
Yeah.
So you're fine.
I think I'm good.
Yeah.
So I feel better about that.
Doc's definitely fine.
That's a real dumb thing to think.
It's not even right.
All right, well, we got a great show for you today. Doc's just joining us right now. Welcome to the studio,
Thanks,
Doc.
man. Traffic was pretty nasty out there.
I want to thank our sponsor, More Beer. You can go to morebeer.com right now and check them out. They bring you this session and every session, and as I've told you before, they've been doing it since before we started. So I love those guys over at More Beer, and you should too. Good sales going on all the time. Just go check them out. Plus new products. They're innovators in the homebrewing world. Go check them out at morebeer.com. Tonight's show for you, we've got our old friends, Drew Beecham and Denny Kahn, on the program. And what's happened is the two of them have gotten together and written a book together. And I feel like... finally. Like, doesn't it seem like Drew and Denny, you didn't know that they should be together, but once you hear it, you go, oh, well, finally.
Yeah, they're both completely insane people.
Yes. Yeah. So they've written Experimental Homebrewing, Mad Science in the Pursuit of Great Beer. And they're going to be on the program to talk about their new book. We talked to them about it a little bit at the National Homebrewers Conference in Grand Rapids this year, and it hadn't been published yet, and I think it just came out last week. So we've got them now on the program to talk about that, so hang in there for that. We'll be talking to the dudes. Fun guys, Drew and Denny. Wonder which one smoked more pot in their life.
I would say Drew. No,
Denny.
Yeah.
You think Denny, right?
I think
but
so, yeah.
I have a feeling Drew might surprise us, Like, maybe that's how he got through MIT. He had to get stoned every night.
Super high. Knowing him, he was like...
He had to dumb himself down, I think, is what happened. He's too smart.
Right. I'm too smart. He was probably just, huffing liquid paper all the time.
Yeah,
that's what his drug was.
I'm just too smart for these guys. Let me take another huff.
It's not challenging.
Yeah. You can huff like anything. You can huff computer air. You know the computer air?
Compressed air.
I mean, not that I know or have experimented with, but you can huff anything.
There's like a warning label on those things that says contains a bitterant to discourage
puffing,
inhaling. Yeah.
Why do people spend so much money on drugs when you can just go to the Home Depot?
Get some copier toner.
Because cocaine doesn't have a warning label on it.
I see. That's all it's... Same side effects without the warning label.
Right.
Did Bevo just grab a can of compressed... You're going to try it, Bevo?
Please do not.
Do not.
No. I'm going to read the... I want to find the warning label.
Well, I say you can do it, and Bevo instantly goes hunting for computer air.
There's got to be some in here.
Yeah.
First of all, I like how you call it computer air. Like computers need a separate air source to breathe.
It's called Dust Destroyer.
I see.
Destroyer.
I don't think I think it just moves it.
Yeah, it's a dust mover.
Right.
So you can breathe it in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Huff the dust. That's what gets you high.
That's our new brand.
Huff the dust.
Yeah, we're going to start selling it here at the Hop Grenade. Huff the dust.
Huff the dust. That's a good name for a beer.
It is a good beer
And
name.
then the guys that are addicted to you and call them dusters.
The dusters are in again. All right, so we got a good show for you today. Let me get through some announcements for you. We're starting the planning of our Winter Brews Festival again. It's that time of year. Winter Brews Festival is going to be Saturday, January 24th. As always, it's the weekend in between the playoffs and the Super Bowl. And I learned last week that some other douchey fest is encroaching on our date tasting.
Where?
Whoa. Where's this fest at?
Yeah.
In San Francisco. But I think it's one of those big douchey ones that like all the college kids go to and drink till they puke, and the brewers don't go to it. And so...
Fort Mason event, you mean?
Yeah. So we're keeping our date. Fuck them. I mean, why couldn't they do me the courtesy of, realizing we've been doing it on that date for 6 years? Although, I'll be honest, I've just been waiting for someone to smarten up and realize what a great date for a beer fest that is. Because it's in between those two busy weekends where people are looking for something to do. There's generally no beer fests for a month either direction. Yeah. So I've kind of just been waiting for this to happen. But we're going to do it anyway. Fuck them.
Oh, yeah. We don't get that many people from San Francisco.
Yeah, and I think even in general, the ones we do, we get a different crowd at our fest.
Yeah,
we get the real beer people. Yeah. Plus, we get all the brewers that come out and everything. So we're keeping it. It's Saturday, January 24th. Believe it or not, tickets will go on sale relatively quickly, probably right in the beginning of December. We did that last year as well to give everybody a chance to buy Christmas gifts. Plus, there's a little price break for buying early.
Let's get a save the date to the brewers. That's what I worry about more than the customers.
Save the date's going out this week.
Yeah, because the brewers are the ones we want to make sure they come to this event, not the other one.
Right. And I don't think that's going to be that hard.
No, they'll want to come here, but if they...
I mean, they send their lackeys to that one is what I think happens, There's a few brewers that want to go to it because there's a bunch of good-looking people to look at.
Yeah.
But then they start throwing up on you, and it's not fun anymore.
Something just came up.
Well, I don't know
I've got
that.
somewhere to be. I can't be at the Winter Brews Festival.
Well, they're saying brewers, not assistant brewers.
Yeah, I said lackeys go to the other one.
Right.
That's you, Beardy.
Yeah. Dum-dum.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are a dum-dum.
Fine.
Some dust.
Yeah.
Give Beardy the can of air, will you?
Yeah, where's that bitter air?
It's in here.
Yeah.
Directed at you.
We'll have some shit on it.
All right, so brewers and attendees alike, save the date.
Yeah,
Saturday, January 24th, and we'll have more information for you.
It's your two best friends getting married, beer and people.
That's right.
Yeah.
At one place.
Right.
Are you going to make it this year, JP, or do you have another surgery?
if I don't get cancer again, yeah.
Haven't you missed like 2 years, or was it just last year?
No, just last year.
It was only because of cancer?
Seemed like he was gone.
I still haven't.
He might not go just so he can get a big card signed by everybody.
Yeah, where's JP? I don't know. I think he has cancer again.
I think I was diagnosed like around here. Taryn reminded me of that. And I was like,
around the time, yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, you should probably get your follow-up checkup that you're supposed to do 6 months ago. I was like, oh, yeah.
You haven't gotten your follow-up checkup, JP?
I've been real busy, dude.
Dude, you can't mess around with that.
Yeah, BlizzCon was last weekend.
I was going to ask you about that, actually.
Well, the blood, it's like just so that they can feel my neck and go, oh, everything's fine. I know everything's fine. I'm not concerned about that. My blood test, I'm like 2 months behind.
How fine did you feel a year ago?
Right.
Actually, I felt terrible a year ago, but I didn't know it because now I feel great.
Oh.
So comparatively, I felt.
I still would like you to hurry up and get your blood test, JP. It's ridiculous.
So would I.
So you spent your time out at a gaming convention instead of at the doctor? Is this your priority list now?
Well, the gaming the BlizzCon ticket came up sooner than my appointment would have for the doctor, so I feel like, what am I going to do?
I see.
If the doctor was responsive, then, maybe things have changed.
Okay.
I see. We just get his blood tested here at the show.
Do it right. Yeah. Isn't Sam a trained phlebotomist or something?
Yes, he is.
We can get Sam to draw the blood for you right here on the show.
I can do it.
I mean, that's...
And then what?
And Doc...
Yeah, and then he would slam the vial against the floor.
He's like, I did it, bitch!
And curse the ground.
He'd be like, oh, cancer!
I can smell it. I got a drink
cancer.
Yeah.
Sam's the cancer whisperer. He draws your blood, sniffs the vial, and he's like, oh, yeah, your life is over.
He'll huff it.
Some weird voodoo shit. Burns it on a candle with some sage.
Can you imagine if Sam's one skill was sniffing out cancer?
It's like one of those dogs.
Yeah,
dog.
He's useless for everything else, except he gets next to you. Oh, you're dead.
Oh, shit. He smells my body.
Nice knowing you.
Yeah.
Sam's too nice to say it, though. He's probably known all this time. He's like, I can't tell him.
Just write a note. Write a note.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
I'm going to write your diagnosis on this piece of paper and slide it to you.
On this sticky note. All right. What else? Oh, we've got a big merchandise sale going on in our store right now. Plus, we have a bunch of new merch items. I don't know if you've looked at the store lately, but since GABF, we put in a couple new hoodie designs. We got some scarves in there. The hats have been restocked. There's a new T-shirt for the Brewing Network Homebrew Club. I don't know if you've seen that. It's a pretty cool shirt. It says the Brewing Network, not a real club since 2005.
That's right.
So that's for our club members to wear at NHC this year.
And rub in everyone's face.
That's right. So go check it out. It's thebrewingnetwork.com/store. Plus, some stuff's on sale for as low as like $8, which is more than half off. So go check it out. Get yourself some new merch. You can also support us by shopping on Amazon. Just click the Amazon link on our homepage. It's not a banner. It's a big link right there in the middle of the page. You might have to scroll down if you got a small screen. But click the Amazon link, and then we get a little piece of the action. You don't have to spend any more cash than you were going to anyway. Do we have an Amazon product of the week?
The Motorola Moto X second generation in black resin, the 16 gigabyte model from Verizon.
The phone?
Yeah, it's a phone. I included it because the retail price was $49.99, and for I have no idea why we got 50% of that. We got $25.
Really?
Yeah. I hope no one at Amazon is listening and it's like a mistake or something. But I don't quite understand. There's nothing else that we get even close to that. Normally it's somewhere around like 7 or 8%, depending on the product, but 50%?
Must be some deal with the phone companies. The phone companies give away, they subsidize everything.
Isn't that a real old phone?
Or maybe that's why.
I mean, it's a smartphone. Maybe it's like it's
just not as smart as
Is it a suitcase phone? Is it one you have to wear around your shoulder?
Yeah,
like
you carry the pack in one hand and the phone in the other. Yeah,
I used to have one of those.
It looks like, I don't know, maybe a 3 or 4 year old smartphone. I have no idea, but I $25.
That's great.
That's a huge chunk of change. So thanks to Amazon, and God love you, Amazon. Not profitable yet, but cutting your affiliates big checks.
How is it that they're not profitable? Is that true?
Yeah, they've never been profitable.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Blows my mind. How's that? How is it that the BN could be slightly profitable and Amazon can't figure that shit out? We are idiots over here, and we figured it out.
I don't know. People believe in them, and they cannot burn venture capital money fast enough. So what do we know? Maybe it's just not yet. It hasn't happened yet.
Okay. Wait. We're profitable?
Oh, no. Did I say that?
Yeah. I mean, what the fuck?
Well, I said barely.
Christmas
I think we made.
doesn't matter. I can see it all now. Christmas bonus.
I think we made $5 last month in profit.
I think Tasty's right. Christmas bonus, Tasty. Jelly of the year, of the month club.
Can't wait for the envelope.
I take care of the bills. We made $5 last month.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we are profitable.
It's $1
See, we're
each.
profitable.
Yeah.
How much did Amazon make? Nothing.
No, they lost money. They're in the red.
There we go. They probably give out bigger Christmas bonuses, too.
Oh, definitely.
Even in the red. All right. Subscribe and join the BN Army. That's also how you can support us. All of our shows are free, but if you got a little extra change, you can sign up for as little as $2 a month, and you become a recurring donor. It enters you into our monthly More Beer donation giveaway, which is a chance to win $100 over to More Beer. We do the drawing every month. You get an email if you win, and it just helps us stay afloat over here. You also get first dibs on things like VIP parties, the Brewing Network anniversary. I do think we're doing a VIP party at the Hop Grenade ahead of Winterfest this year.
Nice.
So you get first dibs on all the things that we do before they sell out, because a lot of our stuff sells out pretty quickly nowadays. But if you're a recurring donor, you get the email first. Plus, our monthly email newsletter, which, believe it or not, goes out every single month and gives you the lowdown on what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, recently we've been doing Brewcaster profiles in our monthly newsletter. I think Tasty was this month's featured Brewcaster. So go learn all about Tasty.
As if you didn't know already.
Yeah. All right. Sign up and get all these updates and more over on Twitter. And send your show ideas to Scott the Jew, Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com, and send feedback over to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com.
It's amazing how many people don't know that yet. After 9.5, or not 9.5, but a couple of years.
It's gotten 90% better.
Has it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where do they send it?
It's really
Feedback.
gotten better. Show ideas still go to feedback. Yeah.
But I think that people don't know.
See, even Beardy's so dumb.
He doesn't
figure
know.
it out.
Beardy, you done huffing computer air?
It's real good. You guys should try it.
Today?
I wonder if there's some dude somewhere bent over the back of his tower breathing in the fan air going, I don't get it. Nothing's happening. It's just warm air.
Yeah.
Dusty warm air.
It's computer air.
All right, y'all know we went to Australia for the Australian National Homebrewers Conference, and part of doing that was a fundraiser we did where a lot of you, both American and Australian, and I think some others too, some Canadians and some Europeans, all helped donate to fund us to get there. And one of the donation levels was that you could assign something for us to say.
Yeah.
We would say anything you wanted on the air. Now, I'm surprised that more people didn't get involved in this.
It was like an Easter egg or like a hidden Mickey. It's just, you have to look for it, and then if you missed it, well, then you feel like a big dummy after you hear about it.
Right.
This is how Kate and Taryn got you guys to propose?
Whoa.
Whoa. I was wondering why Kate and Taryn both donated to the Indiegogo campaign. I haven't read through all of the live reads yet, but
I was wondering why that came up on my credit card statement.
Yeah. So I think we only got a couple, and one of them was for JP to read out loud.
Okay.
So Scotty B wrote in and donated. Scotty, thanks so much. As promised, here is your on-air shout-out from JP.
I wept when Scotty B couldn't be on Dr. Homebrew because he had to work. Not only is he a great brewer, but a great man as well.
Say it more like you believe it this time.
Did he write this, or are you making it up?
More like a story.
I wept when Scotty B couldn't be on Dr. Homebrew because he had to work. Not only is he a great man, but a great brewer as well.
You're making me cry.
Yeah, that's better. And you started you started to get like a Woody Allen accent at the end.
It's more like Christopher Walken.
Yeah, Christopher Walken. Thank you. Yeah, it was like a Woody Allen meets Christopher Walken. And I wept. Yeah, well done,
Scotty B couldn't be on Dr. Homebrew because he had to work. I don't know. Really? That's what you donated for?
That's what he donated for. That's what I'm saying. Like, even the ones that donated did not go as far as I thought they would.
Very tame.
So there you go, Scotty B. Thank you so much for your contribution. I saw the nearly final edit of our Oz video today. Yeah, Push is almost done with our BN on the road video.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to get that out to you guys maybe by the end of the week so you can all see our trip, and hopefully the Aussies can go find themselves in the video. There's a few Aussie cameos in there.
But they all look exactly the same.
All of them except for Pies, because he's an Aborigine. So he's the one guy you can tell.
The tallest Aborigine. He is the tallest pygmy.
I think he's the fattest Aborigine, because in general, Aborigines aren't fat, right? They run too much.
I guess.
I don't think Pies has run in the last 20 years.
He ran out of pies.
Yeah, that's what he ran.
Who ate all the pygmies?
Yeah. All right, so there you have it. That's your live read for today. I'm not sure that there are any more, but we'll find out in the coming weeks. Do we have a Twitter game?
Yes.
Beautiful. Twitter game's brought to you today by our good friends over at Moonlight Meadery. My favorite meadery on the planet. Go to Moonlight Mead and check them out. What's our Twitter game?
Well, I was thinking, met some listeners over the weekend, which is pretty weird, but met some of their family, and it got me thinking, if the listeners had to choose one of us to introduce to their family, the holidays are coming, all that kind of stuff, who would it be? And why? I want to know.
It's a good question.
Yeah. So if you had to introduce a brewcaster to a member of your family, who would it be?
I think that
And
this.
why?
I think that the
And
answer
why?
to this is going to be more revealing about their family
Right.
than it is about us as a person.
So far, that's pretty accurate. I'm getting a lot of response because I tweeted a few minutes ago. There's a lot of this is I'm going to introduce this person to this member of my family because my family has some weird deformity or something weird like that.
Okay, makes sense to me.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do our feedback. That's our Twitter game. Our feedback is brought to you today by Beer Law Center. You can go to beerlawcenter.com and check them out. They take great care of us and our trademark, the Hop Grenade, and they can help you too. And believe me, if you don't think that your trademarks are important in this beer environment, then you are sadly mistaken. Go to beerlawcenter.com and let John help you too. Short feedback today. Just a couple of things in here.
Yeah, it was disappointing.
Yeah. Well, I guess we got so much.
That's how great we did last week.
Yeah,
Everyone's like,
nothing to bitch about.
Well, all right.
I'm very nonplussed right now.
Well, the one email we did get is about last week's show. Morgan writes in and says, "Hello, Brewcasters. While the interview with Mr. Buhner on last show was certainly entertaining, I feel like he was just one bad mushroom experience away from extolling the magical healing properties of crystals and proposing a grand unified theory centered on how The Matrix was actually a documentary."
That's he just read from the dust cover of his book.
That's right.
Yes.
So now this is interesting that you bring it up. When I read Mr. Buhner's biography and the dust cover of the book, I too felt like it was going to be a creepy interview with a guy who was a little too far out there even for me. And I'm pretty tolerant of hippies.
Yeah.
But I actually felt that he wasn't that out there at all, at least in the interview, and he wasn't really talking about things that were all that crazy. He was talking about unique ingredients and some unique ways to make beer, but I didn't actually feel that he was all that hippie-like.
He wasn't.
Maybe
Not
I
in
asked
that
him.
interview.
Yeah, maybe I didn't ask him the right questions. I guess had I asked him about things other than beer, maybe we would have found out his crystal future-telling experiences or something. But we should have asked about his drug intake.
I think his wife predicted, Terrence's baby.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm just...
Anyway, I thought he was still a great interview and not as far out there as I expected. So I think maybe I asked the wrong questions.
I blame myself.
It's your fault.
So the only other email we got this week was for our spam of the week. However, it appears that our own John Palmer is now sending spam to listeners.
Yeah, well, apparently the metallurgy world is in a steep decline.
So I have it in two versions. Apparently it was sent to one of our European listeners because I have it in German.
Yeah.
Should I read it in German?
I think yes, because there's a German and then it's
terrible.
translated. So I feel like you should maybe translate it. No. Read it in German first, and then if you struggle, like we all hope
I'm
you
going to
will.
struggle. I'll get through a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Hallo, geliefd worden Alin. Naar, and then gives his email address. Ik ben John Palmer. Uit de Verenigde Staten heb ik 2 jaar doorgebracht vraagt voor een lening om mij berdurf uit te breeden, maar ik bat... Thank you.
You sound Norwegian.
Yeah, I can't read any of it.
The world's
It actually,
angriest Norwegian.
I don't think it's German.
It might be Dutch.
Now that I'm reading it, it's not German. There's too many double A's.
Yeah, it's a Dutch.
And
Norse.
Maar ik ben blisch see, and then I'm doing it with German pronunciation,
You got to
but
soften it up big time.
I have no idea how to even try to do a
Pretend like you're
Danish
like you've done a lot of nitrous and you can't really use your tongue a lot.
Perfect.
Hey, there it is.
That's the whole thing.
That's great.
All right, here it is in English. Hello, please send replies to Zoomily Group at yeah.net.
Zoomily Group.
I am John Palmer from the United States. I have spent 2 years requesting for a loan to expand my business, but I was unlucky. But I am happy to tell you that I finally received a loan of $300,000 within 3 days from Zoho Mali Group AS.
Wow.
I made a promise that after I get my loan, I will advertise Zoho Mali Group AS. And that is why I want you to also get a loan today. If you need a loan, send loan amount to zomaligroup at yeah.net.
Yeah.
So I guess, I don't know, Palmer needed some cash.
And he got it.
Got a
Pretty
loan.
quick.
And I like that all he has to do is send some emails. Hey, if you too would like a loan.
Yeah. All you have to do is just say, $10,000 and send it an email and you'll get it.
That's perfect.
Love it.
And that is your feedback for today. Feedback, of course, brought to you by beerlawcenter.com.
We could take a page out of Amazon's book and get one of those loans, and then dole out Christmas bonuses, and then what we'll do is we'll just keep getting loans from that Zowali group or whatever, that's it. That's our business model.
It is the American way. So
I think it's the Greek way.
Is it?
I don't know.
It's much more Greek.
Do you want it to be the Greek way?
Americans are, they're doing fine. Their country's not in default yet.
It isn't?
Oh, yeah.
Their country.
Oh.
Yeah, you people.
Those country.
Yeah.
All right. And then just before the break, hey, Beardy, let me ask you a question.
All right.
Are you getting enough?
Enough what?
I bet you'd love more, right?
Sure.
Well, AdamandEve.com wants to give you more, Beardy.
All right.
With 10 free gifts. Hey, that's right, Beardy. First, you'll get a sexy surprise for her.
Ooh,
second, a specialty selected toy for him. And third, a little something we know you'll both enjoy.
Wait, if Beardy's going to get something for him, who's the third guy? Who's the third person?
Well, Beardy has something for him. Why does he even need her?
Right.
No, you guys are confusing me.
I got my toy. What does she need one for?
Yeah. Or no,
I got mine, girl.
Yeah, he gets his toy. What do you get?
Plus, you'll get 6 full-length adult movies on DVD. And then number 10, free shipping on your order. So what do you have to do to get your 10 free gifts, Beardy?
Oh, there's work involved?
It's not hard. Right, Jim? Thank you.
Who's Jim?
Go to AdamandEve.com and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy, sexy piece of lingerie, or anything else you desire. That's right. We're not joking here. Just enter coupon code BNARMY at checkout. That's BNARMY at checkout, and you'll get 10 free gifts. That's right, 10. Go check out AdamandEve.com today. Select one item, 10 free gifts, including free shipping when you enter coupon code BNARMY at AdamandEve.com.
You know what we need is explosions for that. Yeah. Are you getting enough?
It's a good idea. Push eject. Please get on the explosion soundtrack for my Adam and Eve copy for next week.
And then I will proceed to never play it.
That's right.
Ever.
All right. We're going to take us a very quick break. When we come back, Drew Beecham and Denny Kahn talking about their new book, Experimental Homebrewing. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring Monk's Blood. Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Hi, I'm Jamel Zanishev, and in addition to my work on the Brewing Network, I write the style profile column in every issue of Brew Your Own magazine.
Hi, I'm Sean Paxton, and when I'm not prepping for the Homebrewed Chef on the Brewing Network, you can find me writing articles on how to cook with your homebrew for Brew Your Own magazine.
Greetings, cretins. This is John Palmer, and when I'm not writing for Brew Your Own, I'm reading it.
John Palmer, Sean Paxton, Jamil Zanishev. If you love listening to them on the Brewing Network, you'll love reading their articles, tips, and recipes in the pages of Brew Your Own magazine. Join Jamil, John, and Sean 8 times a year in Brew Your Own. And when you subscribe to BYO on the Brewing Network website, half of your subscription price goes right back to the BN to support great beer and food programming. So sign up for Brew Your Own magazine through the BN website today so you can listen and read your way to better homebrew.
Are you a member of the American Homebrewers Association? Well, you should be. Members of the AHA can focus on brewing beer, and the AHA takes care of the rest. The American Homebrewers Association advocates on behalf of homebrewers like you to legalize the hobby in all 50 states and make sure that beer laws make sense. Plus, there are many great benefits that come with your AHA membership, like pub discounts that give you awesome deals at bars, restaurants, breweries, and more. Zymergy Magazine and eZymergy for tons of articles, how-tos, easy-to-follow recipes, and news about the hobby you love. And access to the members-only content on homebrewersassociation.org. But the AHA can't do it without your support. Join today so the American Homebrewers Association can keep fighting for your home brewing rights. Visit homebrewersassociation.org or join right now from the homepage of the Brewing Network website. Relax. Don't worry. It's the American Homebrewers Association.
Hi, I'm Jason Harris, the proud owner here at Keystone Homebrew Supply. We're thrilled to be entering our 20th year of supplying this great industry. And to show you, the Brewing Network Army, how much we appreciate your support, we're offering you 10% off your first order on our website, KeystoneHomebrew.com. Just use coupon code BNARMY at checkout, and I'll get your order out the same day. My goal at Keystone Homebrew Supply has always been to have a complete supply of everything a brewer could want. When you place your order online or when you come into our store, it's our goal to have everything on your list and more. One aspect of KeystoneHomebrew.com that we're really excited about is the ability to fulfill customers' exact grain bills. Do you hate to wait? Keystone Homebrew Supply can get your precious yeast and hops to you within just one day if you live between Connecticut and Virginia, and within 2 days east of the Mississippi. KeystoneHomebrew.com. Coupon code BNARMY. I'm Jason Harris, and I approve this message.
You're tuned into this session because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with us. We got a lot to do today. Did I tell you that we're tasting the Just Add Water beer tonight on the program?
No.
Yeah.
Are we going to do a blind tasting so we'll have a real beer and that one?
Of it.
Yes.
We can pick?
We're going to do a Warren tasting?
Yes,
Right.
we're going to do a Warren tasting.
Even playing field.
Yeah. And
you guys are going to taste Warren?
Yeah, later in the program, speaking of experimental brewing, we're going to try this Just Add Water beer.
Is it carbonated water?
It's,
or just
yeah, you got to add carbonated water, which I didn't think about. Moscow figured that out. I just thought maybe somehow magically it would also be carbonated. You know how like
you have to add carbonated.
Well, remember those
I mean, Alka-Seltzer, yeah.
How are you a successful human being?
Who says he is?
Right. Yeah, exactly right.
He's barely,
a good point.
I don't understand the basis of the question.
Exactly.
All right. In the meantime, as we get ready for that little experiment later on, we've got the authors of Experimental Homebrewing, Drew Beecham and Denny Kahn, on the program. Drew, are you with us?
I am indeed.
You sound great, as usual, and handsome, Drew.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your check's in the mail.
Okay. And Denny Kahn's on the line as well. How are you, Denny?
I am just great, Justin. The drugs are just starting to take effect.
I knew you wouldn't come on this show unprepared, Denny.
Right.
I mean blood pressure medication.
Oh,
What
of
do you think I
course.
meant?
No, I knew exactly what you meant.
He's so angry already about his interview. He needs to calm down.
Denny, last week on the program we had author Stephen Buhner on. Are you familiar with Stephen at all?
I'm ashamed to say I'm not.
He wrote a book, which
Sacred. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, Sacred and Healing Beers.
Oh, I'm definitely familiar with the book.
So in looking at, he sent his bio, and in looking at his picture, we all thought that he was like your long lost brother. Then he gets on the program, and he sounds like you too. Like his voice is similar to Denny, but rest assured, he is far crazier than you are.
Well, at least in some ways.
Right, exactly right. So experimental homebrewing is what you boys are here to talk about, which just came out last week, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, as always, before we dive right into it, I like to get a little background and see what you guys have been up to. And Drew, you're a busy guy all the time. So what's been going on in your life since we last spoke to you? Just the writing of this book?
Well, death, murder, mayhem, the trial's coming up. I don't know.
I see.
He's out on bail.
He's right.
I thought you're not allowed to talk about it.
I hope we're not violating your probation with this show.
I don't know. The anklet's beeping. Is that a problem?
Yeah. Certain websites, when you visit them, the anklet starts beeping.
Yeah. Only when it starts vibrating should you worry.
Yeah.
Good. Thanks, JP.
You're welcome.
How long you been writing this book with Denny, Drew?
I think we spent a year writing the book. It started in last March. So you guys remember last year I released a book on cider.
Yeah.
And I was writing that book actually when the publisher of this book came up to me and said, "Hey, we want you to write a book about experimental homebrewing." And I was kind of like, "I'm in the middle of writing a book, and that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazier than I am."
I was already in the middle of writing the 25 largest things in cider.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm busy.
I was number 26.
Yeah.
But, and so when they came to me, I said, well, I'm super busy right now, but I'd be more than happy to help co-author the book. And I know there's this crazy hippie who lives somewhere in the woods in the middle of some state called Oregon, that he's been looking to write something, and I think it'd be perfect. So,
and then that guy sent you Denny's contact information?
Exactly. I mean, he said he had already written a book, something about herbal and sacred healing beers. The government didn't approve of a clone writing more than one book. I don't know.
So the publisher came to you with the topic they wanted? Is that common?
Yeah, sometimes. Like particularly with a publisher that's trying to move into a market or kind of expand their hold in the market. So the group that we're working with, they had previously published Extreme Homebrewing, the Sam Calagione book with a bunch of recipes in it. And they came to us, or they came to me, and they're like, "Yeah, no, we're thinking about doing something like this, and you'd be perfect. Could you plan something?" So,
excellent. And Denny, had you written a book before of this nature?
No. I'd pitched a few, but nothing had ever come about. So this was the first for me. But it was kind of great because they came to Drew for the wild and wacky stuff, and when we started talking about it, we decided, well, there's really no way you can out Randy.
Right. Mosier, yeah.
What we decided we would do is take experimental, both sides of the coin, and besides all the crazy shit, that we would also put a little bit of not too painful science into it.
Got it. So science that maybe even I could understand? Can we...
Well, Justin,
maybe.
I know you, so it's hard to say.
I'm just going to have to read the book and find out.
There's lots of pictures in the book, right?
Yeah. I think, Justin, you'll have to skip chapters 1 through all the way to 13.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll just get somebody to slow down and read it.
You know what, though, Justin? It is the only homebrewing book ever with a picture of a goat drinking beer, and I think you'd appreciate that.
I do appreciate that. Yeah. In fact, you just sold me on it. I'm going to go buy it.
All right, man.
Folks at home, just so you know, if you want to go check it out, you can go to experimentalbrew.com right now and check it out. There's some reviews of the book up already and some other interviews with the guys, too, since you guys have been working on this for a little while. So, Drew, you mentioned that you were pretty busy and willing to co-author. So what does that mean exactly? Does that mean you go to Denny and say, look, I really need you to write it, and I'll give you a hand here and there?
Well, I think that's the initial idea was, okay, look, I'm going to be done with this cider book in a month, but they're really hot to trot and they want to go. And I said, well, why don't we sit down? Why don't we plan something? And the original publishing contract, I think, called for us to start writing in March and have it done by the end of June.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Denny was going to run off and start writing because he was getting ready to retire from his job and needed something to keep himself occupied.
Right.
And I was going to provide sort of my expertise and then come in and backfill where I could. And the June deadline came and went, and then there was a August deadline, and then a November deadline, and then a January deadline, and finally in March they're like, no, seriously, deadline.
Okay.
Yeah, we were a year past the drop dead, it's got to be done now deadline.
That I have to be honest that it seems like that would be commonplace in the writing world, that deadlines are, I don't mean to call them meaningless, but this can't be the first time this has happened.
Is the term.
Fungible, there we go. But in other words, you guys weren't necessarily getting yelled at for this. This is expected?
We were getting yelled at a lot.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I think once we crossed 9 months, it was like, come on.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But no, there is a certain expectation, particularly like if you're not a full-time writer, that deadlines are wonderful suggestions of what you would like to see.
Okay. I see. Well, that makes sense, too. Now, let me ask you guys this. There's a lot of homebrewers out there with a good deal of knowledge to share. What's difficult about writing a book of this nature? Because I think there's probably some other people that could do it and give us some good words of wisdom, too, right? So give me some of the trials and tribulations.
I mean, I think from my point of view, the hardest part about it is just trying to find the narrative. And I know it sounds insane to say there's a narrative to a book like this, since it's a how-to book. But really the biggest struggle was for us sitting down and trying to find, okay, what's the sensible flow here? How does this work? How do we build this story that we're trying to tell people? And I think literally we spent, or I should say I spent, a good portion of the time farting around trying to figure that out.
Yeah, and I really want to give Drew a lot of credit for that. He is really great about that kind of thing. I kind of tend to write like a lawyer, and I send it off to him, and it comes back, and it's like, holy shit, I sound good.
Because you still have to move from point A to point B in an entertaining way. Is that where this narrative has to come in?
Yeah, and it has to make sense. Yeah, you start to see, like, when you're first sitting down to write one of these things, I've got all these ideas. I want to do this and this and this and this and this, and it's very easy to just kind of, vomit words onto a page and go, I wrote a book. The hard part is to figure out, okay, now how do I structure all this so that it works and it works together. And so part of that came from Denny, part of that came from me, and actually as much fun as we've been making of our publishing house, our editor for the book, a guy named Tom, also really stepped up and did a hell of a job with that.
Beautiful. Yeah, really. We decided early on that we wanted this to kind of be like a dialogue, like we're sitting here talking to you. So there is a lot of back and forth in the book, a lot of name calling, a lot of don't brew like my brother kind of stuff.
Nice.
And our editor, fortunately, was able to see what we were going for and make sense of what we were doing, and best of all, left it in there. And I think that it makes for a real entertaining read. Palmer called it whimsical yet authoritative. What more do you need?
That sounds, you know what? That sounds like both of your personalities, actually.
Whimsical yet authoritative.
Yeah.
Who's who?
They're both. Each of them is both.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Was your editor, Tom, was he a home brewer?
Yeah, actually, and I will tell you what, that was amazing to me. I've done 4 books now, and this is the first time I've had an editor who is a homebrewer.
It seems like a necessity almost, doesn't it? I mean, how did you get along all this time? I mean, how do you even know what to edit if you don't even know what the author's talking about?
Well, I don't know if it's a necessity, but it definitely was helpful. And Tom was also familiar with both Drew and me from the internet and other stuff that we'd written. And it was really a great team between the three of us.
Yeah.
So you've talked to us a little bit about how the book is delivered. Give me the real premise of the book. Am I just reading through experiment after experiment that you guys pulled out of a hat, or how did you put it together, and what's the real premise?
Well, I think the way that we have run around pitching it, and it's kind of poignant given the news of last week, is the whole book is structured as if though Mr. Wizard went down to the local pub with a click and clack of car talk and had a couple pints.
Got it. Okay.
And so, again, it is that sort of whimsical thing where we walk through. We did our best to avoid, here's how you brew. But we walked people through, okay, this is what a brew day looks like for us. This is how we brew. This is what we brew on. These are ingredients that we've played with. These are ingredients that you can play with. These are, techniques. And then finally, in the last part of the book is where we get to the other side, where we really start to tell you, here's how you actually taste things. Here's how you do this objectively, or at least as objectively as you can. Like, for instance, what you guys were talking about just before we came on with the instant beer and doing the kind of the comparison tasting.
Yeah.
Right? That same sort of stuff. There's actually some math in there. One of my favorite little pieces that we discovered was about some beer math. And then there's a whole segment that's devoted to, experiments that you can do at home and that you can come back to experimentalbrew.com and report on your results. And we can actually build up, what we've kind of referred to as either kitchen science or sloppy citizen science, and come up with conclusions that are actually applicable to homebrewers.
Yeah, what we really didn't do in this book is tell you how to brew. There are lots and lots of books that do that, and so what we did was kind of like tell you about a lot of different ways you can brew and a lot of different ingredients you can use, and how you can go about experimenting with all that kind of stuff to find out what works for you, because no two people have exactly the same needs and wants when you're brewing. It's a hobby after all, and it's got to be fun. So you should figure out for yourself what's fun and not do something just because somebody told you should.
Oh, thank God.
Right? Well, that's why I started huffing computer air.
Because it seemed fun.
Yeah. Well, someone told me it was fun, and I'm like, I forget where, some podcast I heard it, and I was like, well, this isn't very fun. If you guys are like the guys on Car Talk, which one of you is the dead one?
That would be me.
Okay. Right.
Is one of them dead now?
Yeah, one of them bought the farm.
Tom died last week.
Oh, I didn't know
That's
that.
the news he was referring to.
Yeah, he came back from Hong Kong with a cough.
What a bummer.
Yeah, I guess. If you're into cars, you're kind of screwed.
They were good.
He's a radio legend.
They were good broadcasters.
Oh, yeah.
I liked them. Oh, that's sad news. Now, the list of experiments and the ingredients that you talk about and, the different premises of the book, did you guys have to sit down and come up with this stuff, or was it already in your personal brewing repertoire?
Yes,
well, some of it was.
Some of each? Okay.
Yeah. And once we actually got the idea and we went, aha! We had that little eureka moment. We just kind of had this giant shared document in a Dropbox folder someplace, and every time we thought of something, it was like, more stuff going in, and finally after a couple of weeks, it was like, okay, we got to stop and we got to actually organize this now.
Got it.
Yeah, Drew had this crazy mind diagramming program, so like we'd throw ideas into that and kind of like see what led to what. But but a lot of it was stuff that we have learned over the years, and we wanted to talk about and ask people to check out what we found and see if they did too.
Did you have to revisit some of these things that you already knew and, for example, brew again to make sure that your memory served you correctly?
Well, Denny doesn't have much of a memory. So,
so you brewed everything
it's
twice.
All that blood pressure medication.
What were we talking about?
Right.
Some of the stuff, some of my early experiments I documented pretty well. So, I didn't really have to do, but there was other stuff as we went through. There was a lot of research going on different areas.
Okay.
And I think one of the great things in the book is Denny had a really great tasting example, and we could actually teach people by what he did, including what was done less than perfectly and what could be done to improve it. So there's actual real practical experience in there guiding a lot of that stuff.
Can you elaborate on what the tasting example is?
Denny.
It was take it. Years ago, I did an experiment to compare the effects of first wort hopping to 60-minute hops. Split wort, same amount of the same hops, except one was done as a first wort hop edition. The other one was done as a 60-minute edition. Beers were fermented. I sent some down to Jamil, and he put together a tasting panel down there. And I put together a panel up here. And we did a blind triangle tasting of the beers. And, you know, the way that the blind triangle works is that you're given 3 beers, 2 of which are the same, one's different. And the first round objective is to pick out the beer that's different. If you can't do that, then that means that either there is no really significant difference or you can't tell the difference. At any rate, if you can't pick out the different beer, you don't go on to the next round.
Okay.
Because you suck.
Yeah.
Well, whether you suck or not is not the question. So
Could have been what you were sucking before you were
There's no
tasting.
doubt about that. But
Right.
there's, so we give them a set of questions for each round to answer, and so there's just examples of how all this was done in the book, and I discuss how the results came out and what went right, what went wrong, how it could be done better, so that hopefully people can learn from my experience.
I like the triangle taste test, and we've not done one here on the show before, but I think it was maybe Jamil who brought it up to us in the past as well. We might have to do the triangle test tonight with the Add Water beer and figure that out.
It's really the only way to do it, to be certain, Other than that, it's like flipping a coin.
Yeah. Now, I'd like people to read the book to find out the results of Denny's particular triangle test experiment with first wort hopping. However, Tasty, since first wort hopping is something you're quite familiar with.
I thought you were going to say mace shopping.
What do you predict the results were of his test? Could people taste the difference in a first wort hopped beer and a, I guess, normally hopped beer, for lack of a better
I think
term?
they would be able to taste it. Yeah, it'd be a little softer, a little more less edge, less hop bite.
Do you think you'd have to be kind of an experienced palate or beer judge, though?
Yeah, you'd have to have thought about that aspect of bitterness before.
Okay.
And I should mention that, as I recall, Jamil's panel down there had at least one master, BJCP master on it.
Okay.
And the one up here that I put together had like super experienced home brewers, BJCP certified and above, and commercial brewers.
Okay, excellent.
But before we let everybody run around thinking that you have to have all that artillery in order to do a tasting panel, you really don't. The breweries themselves, usually will do it with non-trained testers so that they can, get the Joe average opinion.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, what's your target audience? Master BJCP judges and commercial brewers, or just regular average Joes?
I think your target audience is everybody and yourself. Basically, no matter what you're doing in home brewing, it's to make a beer that people like drinking better. And if you're putting out effort that isn't paying off with that result, then you're wasting your time. And that's a lot of what we try to get across in this book is a reason to do the experiments, because, why do something that isn't going to pay off in better beer? My mantra when I'm brewing is the best beer possible with the least effort possible while having the best time possible.
It's my life motto, I think.
I've been living wrong this whole time.
I know, and this is why Denny has been my hero since 2005. And Denny, are you? I know Drew mentioned it earlier. I just wanted to double check. You are officially retired now, as well, right?
I'm retired from the showbiz job that I had for so many years. It turns out that this book gig is a whole different thing.
Right.
I just got back from being the guest speaker at the Music City Brew-Off in Nashville. Had a great time. Those people are really, really nice people. Took really good care of me. Ran a great competition.
Awesome.
Beautiful city.
Nashville's great.
Yeah, and it looks like in May, I'm going with Jamil and Michael Tonsmeyer down to Brazil to speak at the Brazilian National Homebrew Conference.
Beautiful. Well, see, that's the fun work that you want.
Yeah, man, let me tell you, it beats loading a semi for some band you'll never hear of again at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man.
That's very true.
Yeah, Ian, are you listening?
All right, well, let me do this, Denny. I'm going to get us to a break really quick. I just connected Drew here, but we'll get him connected again at the break. When we come back, I'd like to talk about a few more of the specific experiments in the book, if you don't mind.
Sure thing.
All right, so let's do this. We'll take us a quick break here. We'll be right back with Drew Beecham and Denny Kahn. If you've got questions, 888-401-BEER, or just send them over to Bevo in the chat room, and we'll ask the guys for you. Hang in there. It's The Session, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Have you ever dreamed of attending the World Brewing Academy? This year, thanks to Lallemand and Danstar, one lucky brewer will make that dream a reality for free. Lallemand and Danstar invite you to enter the Beer School 2015 contest. One lucky grand prize winner will receive fully paid tuition to the 2015 World Brewing Academy web-based concise course in brewing technology worth almost $4,000. From now until December 13th, 2014, every Danstar yeast packet you use is your ticket to enter. Visit danstaryeast.com for the details and to print your official entry form. There's no limit on the number of times you can enter, so get brewing with Danstar and get your entries in to the Danstar 2015 Beer School Contest. Whether you want to build your home brewing skills or build a career as a professional brewer, this course will change the way you think of beer and brewing. Enter at danstaryeast.com and get the dry yeast advantage with Danstar and Lallemand Premium Brewing Yeast, and enter to win.
BN Army, I'm here to talk seriously for a second. You all are partially responsible for something explosive, and it's time you answer for it.
Moonlight Meadery is exploding.
Yeah, exploding across the country. Wait, they just landed in Australia with insane quality meads.
With nearly 70 different varieties of mead on the market, Moonlight Meadery has blown up the mead category and completely reinvented it.
Seriously?
What?
Seriously.
What?
You're paying money for that watered-down mead when you could have a Moonlight mead?
Moonlight meads explode with quality and flavor.
They're a party in a bottle.
Did someone say party?
If you want mead and want the best, you want meads from Moonlight Meadery and will accept nothing less.
And now get 15% off by going to moonlightmeadery.com/BNArmy and use coupon code BNArmy at checkout.
Hey, sign me up for that party.
What'd you get? More brewing ingredients?
Yep. You know what I love about Brewmaster's Warehouse?
The $6.99 shipping?
Well, yeah, but...
Oh, the in-store classes for beginning brewers.
Yeah, that's cool, but...
Oh, the Brew Builder. Creating and saving your recipes online is awesome!
No, I mean, yes, but...
The cheese-making supplies.
No.
Oh, the wine-making supplies. Oh, the distilling equipment and liquor flavorings.
All that stuff is awesome, yes, but what I really love is that the guy who runs it is totally hot. And that Brew Builder software is awesome.
Oh, yeah. Brewmaster's Warehouse brings you flat-rate shipping on great equipment and ingredients to make beer, wine, cheese, and spirits at brewmasterswarehouse.com. And if you're in Georgia, stop by Brewmaster's Warehouse Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Visit brewmasterswarehouse.com today because it's totally hot.
Oh, yeah.
A few things happened 30 years ago.
ARPANET migrated to TCP/IP, and the Internet was born. Revenge of the Jedi was renamed Return of the Jedi and opened in theaters. Mila Kunis and Emily Blunt were born, beginning a rad fantasy in my mind.
But all of that pales next to the fact that HopTech opened its doors and began blowing homebrewers right out of their mash tuns. HopTech doesn't fuck around. Real people shipping awesome shit straight to you. Their new website is fast and easy to navigate. Or just call 800-379-4677 and let badass bitch Jade and the gadget guy Roberto blow their warm load of customer service all over you. So visit the site or visit the store in Dublin, California, and support those that support you. Get your brewing on at hoptech.com. From the stovetop to a camp burner to some kind of brew stand, most homebrewers follow some version of this progression. With each move, a homebrewer will often have to change a lot, if not all, of their equipment. Until now, Blickman Engineering brings you the top-tier brewing stand, the only brewing stand that grows with you. For example, buy a top-tier floor-standing burner now, and it'll bolt right to your top-tier brewing stand when you're ready for all-grain brewing. The top-tier brewing stand is perfect for 5-gallon to 20-gallon batch sizes. Its modular design is adjustable and accommodates everything from small footprint coolers up to 30-gallon pots. How does the top-tier brewing stand do it? At its core is a strong, heat-treated, and anodized aluminum main post. On all 4 sides are built-in T-slots for the adjustable heavy-gauge stainless steel shelves and beefy burner tiers. The tiers accommodate any manufacturer's pots or coolers up to 21 inches in diameter. Best of all, not only does the top-tier brewing stand grow with your skills and equipment, but it easily knocks down for long-term storage or transport, too. The top-tier brewing stand from Blickman Engineering. Learn more at blickmanengineering.com and to find a local Blickman retailer. And start brewing from the top tier.
888-401-BEER.
It's time to talk beer and chew bubble gum.
And we're all out of gum.
The Session.
Welcome back to the program. Thanks for sticking with us. We got a little bit more to do here with Drew and Denny from Experimental Homebrewing. Plus, we've got our Just Add Water beer to taste a little bit later in the program also.
The Pale Rail.
There we go.
It's cold water.
The Pale Rail.
Pale Rail.
Nice.
And we'll,
Sounds like a bar.
Sounds like a strip club.
Right.
We'll get two other pale ales to try with it. Is that it? You got to do
the try test.
Yeah,
the triangle test. That's right.
It's one pale. It's 2 beers in 3 glasses.
We'll have Drew teach us in a sec. Make sure we get it right. But before we do that, let me remind you about the Siebel Institute of Technology. That's right, America's oldest brewing school. So not just reading books over here, but also getting some formal training. They've got more courses than any other brewing school. Courses also include things like the Advanced Homebrewing course, so you can do it just as a homebrewer, even if you're not looking to go pro. But then they've also got, of course, pro courses, craft distilling courses, and beer styles courses for those looking to ace beer knowledge exams. Professional level brewing courses available both campus-based and web-based, so you can do it from home as well. Faculty includes some of the best-known and most respected instructors in international brewing. You can learn all about it over at SiebelInstitute.com. Get the information and get educated. And then make us some better beer, please. I'm always looking for better beer, so let Siebel help you do it.
I know a couple people going through that course right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they really like it.
Good.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. All right, Drew, you back with us?
Yes, I am.
There we go. And Denny's still there, I'm sure.
You betcha.
Excellent. So, guys, before the break, I was thinking that I really wanted to talk about some of the specific experiments that you guys did. And maybe some of the more challenging or wacky ones. Does anything come to mind?
Well, I think my favorite in terms of just the whole internet thing, like homebrewers getting obsessed with an idea and chasing it down, is the olive oil instead of aeration one.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, this is now the stuff of lore, this one.
Yeah. So to establish for anybody who doesn't know, New Belgium, a couple of years back, there was a paper published by a guy named Grady Hull as part of his thesis on the idea of using olive oil for yeast health preservation instead of using oxygenation, and whether or not they could use that to avoid adding oxygen to the beer and therefore reduce a possible oxidation path, or a possible source of dissolved oxygen in the beer as it goes forward to packaging. So homebrewers being homebrewers picked up on this because it was like, oh my God, you can use a pinhead drop of olive oil to replace all the sterols that the yeast need in order to build strong walls, and therefore you don't have to waste all your money on an oxygen kit or go to the store, go to the hardware store, and pick up those little red tanks.
Right.
And because damn it, a liter of olive oil is really cheap, and those red tanks cost $5.
And Denny, I had you turned down. I'm sorry. You were trying to jump in there too.
We did what it appears that no other homebrewers had ever thought to do before, and contacted Grady Hall about it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, God forbid you get real facts out of this internet thing.
And so I pretty much said to Grady, so what about the idea of using olive oil in place of aeration when you pitch your yeast? And it's like, I have no idea. We've never tried that. Our whole test was about using it for yeast storage, and it wasn't all that successful, and we abandoned it.
That's what a lot of people don't understand is that it was theoretical, and then they ended up not doing it.
Sometimes you have to read until the end of the article.
Well, yeah, it's
the first sentence is way more interesting.
Yeah, they tried it, but they didn't really get very good results with it, and so they abandoned the whole idea. But again, it's like Drew said, homebrewers just love to jump to that conclusion. So, and that's one thing you can try yourself. I have seen, since that whole thing came out, I have seen one good experiment at the homebrew level by a guy named Vance Barnes, who checked out using olive oil and did a pretty darn well-controlled experiment. And his club pretty much preferred the non-olive oil beer,
So is this what you've done in the book, for example, is not do the experiment for us, but lay out how to properly experiment with this? Am I getting that right?
That's definitely part of it, yeah.
Okay.
And it really does just come down to the idea of, the experiment that we actually put in the book is, all right, look, I will bet you good money that you can make the same beer, one part get dosed with olive oil, the other part dosed with no oxygen, no nothing. And at the end of the day, your tasters won't be able to tell the difference.
Okay.
That adding olive oil is no better than adding no oxygen. And part of it is that, it turns out that in order to get that olive oil to actually dissolve into the beer so that the yeast can actually uptake it and actually get them to uptake it before they start the whole fermentation cycle is nigh on impossible.
Can you dissolve them in oxygen?
Well, the real thing here is dissolve in ethanol. So dissolve it in vodka, get it in there, but you're still going to have an issue getting the yeast to uptake it fast enough.
Yeah. I mean, and that particular experiment is in the more editorial section of the book. The entire last chapter, though, is experiments that we give you to figure stuff out for yourself rather than telling you what to do and what will happen. For instance, the very first experiment is about step mashing. We don't tell you that step mashing is going to do this or that or the other. We tell you to try doing this, try doing that, and then use these evaluation techniques and decide for yourself. As we used to say back in the 60s, make your own reality.
One blotter sheet at a time.
Yeah. Is that experiment in the book?
It's ongoing, man.
Yeah.
You can't publish life, bro.
It's in whatever book you want it to be in.
Yeah. But anyway, the last chapters are experiments you can do, like in the mash, in the boil, during fermentation, during packaging, and decide for yourself what's going to work. But there are some really, really cool experimental techniques in there also. My favorite of which is Drew's 10-second tincture technique.
Which is, Drew?
It's a trick that I learned from all those people who do molecular gastronomy, the fancy pants stuff that you pay $900 for. And it takes a stainless steel whipping siphon, the same thing that you go to your local coffee shop and get whipped cream on your coffee. One of those, right?
Okay.
And all it is it's a canister that's designed to take some sort of liquid and a gas cartridge, usually nitrous, and pressurize everything and then foam it, right? So what it turns out you can do is you can take vodka, you can take some substance that you want to extract from, like I did an example of this at the NHC with chai masala.
With chai, right? I remember you made me, or not made me, but you asked me to taste it.
Yes, I twisted your arm.
Yes. Here, Bevo, taste this.
Yeah. Here, taste this. I mean, I give you credit the fact that you're willing to take a drink from a strange man who just offered you a cup.
She's a weird broad.
Yeah, she is.
I'm not that smart.
But you pour the vodka in, you put your, in this case, like I said, chai masala, you close it all up, and then you crack 2 nitrous canisters into it, the 2 of the little whippets. And by the way, this is what you actually are supposed to do with those and not breathe them in.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because so far my problem with the experiment is the nitrous going anywhere but my lungs.
Yeah, you treat it like computer
I was waiting
air.
for that part.
So after you crack the nitrous in there, you shake it for a couple seconds, you let it sit, and then you release all the pressure at once.
Into your
you just
lungs.
pull down on the lever, you release it, and at that point in time, if you want to, you can go ahead and suck in the nitrous as it's coming off the canister.
Thank you, Drew.
No problem.
No waste involved.
I believe in recycling.
I prefer to live like the Native Americans and recycle every part of the tincture.
Yeah.
I can admire that.
In your yurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after you drop all the pressure out, you just open the thing up and you pour it through a strainer, and if you're really specific about it, like a coffee filter. And what you get is in 10 seconds you go from vodka and a bunch of tea to a tea-infused vodka.
I don't. This isn't a joke. I don't understand what the nitrous does. Why do you need that?
Chemically, what happens?
So what's happening is those cartridges raise the pressure inside the stainless steel siphon. I think it's something like 14 atmospheres. So it's really incredibly high.
Wow.
And what that does is it causes the vodka or the ethanol really to infuse into the substrate. In this case, the tea and the spices. So the nitrous forces everything in, and then when you do the shaking, you mix it up, and then when you release the pressure all at once, you induce cavitation. And the cavitation is both the mechanical action of the spices and the vodka kind of getting violently swirled around by the release of all this gas, but it's also cavitation inside the cells of the substrate itself. And that basically causes it to break loose.
Yes.
And you just lost Justin.
Yeah.
I could see JP's eyes glazing over.
Yeah. You lost us both at nitrous.
Hey, but now for the comic relief bit, the Go Drinking Beer is on page 207. Everybody write it down for when you get your book.
Yeah, okay.
I'm on page 90.
You're already in there, huh, Tasty?
Yeah, I went.
Attaboy. How about a couple questions from the chat room, guys, of course, about the book. Here's one from Thud Monkey, who wants to know...
Thud Monkey.
Yeah.
What are the most unexpected, or did you have a most unexpected outcome for any of your experimental brews?
I'm trying to think.
I would say that when I made my wee shroomy, the unexpected outcome was it was fucking good.
I remember talking to you and somebody else about this,
Annie
Denny.
Johnson.
Oh, yeah, Annie
Yes.
Johnson, and we were all surprised that it would be good.
Yeah, it's astounding. As a matter of fact, this Friday I'm going out mushroom hunting for the first time this year. Hopefully get ready for the next batch.
Nice. Now,
I noticed he edited that earlier today when he told me that. He's like, I'm going to go shrooming.
And you're like, wow.
That had changed for him since the 60s.
Guess I won't be talking to you for 6 hours.
Shroom hunting or shroom flying.
Yeah. Well, now, speaking of recipes like that, like your shrooming recipe, I read in my notes here, Denny, that Drew just kept coming up with weird recipes, and the weirder they got, the more you protested, the more Drew knew he had a winner.
That is true. I mean, and that kind of goes back to the fact that he did a lot of the really crazy stuff in this book, and it was kind of like I think the straw that broke the camel's back was the white stout recipe.
Okay, tell me about that one.
Well, a white stout cannot exist.
Not in this plane.
Thank you.
Make your own reality, man.
Just like a session IPA cannot exist.
Yeah, well, and that's exactly what happened. Drew made his own reality and eventually convinced me that maybe a white stout could exist. But, I mean, there were several emails exchanged that were if they weren't heated, I would say it was good-natured ribbing, going back and forth. But there are some really unusual recipes in there, like the bratwurst beer.
Oh, God. Interesting.
Guess who came up with that one?
Drew.
Guilty.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that one, you guys remember, you guys talked about it a while ago, but Buffalo Wild Wings had that commercial where they made fun of homebrewers.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah, and, like everybody had a shit fit about it, right? And I kind of just rolled my eyes at it for the lame joke of it, but also at the same time it was like, hey, look at that. We're a big enough hobby now that we're getting made fun of on national TV.
That's what happens.
Right.
You say something to this guy and he takes it as a challenge.
Well, and so one of the jokes in the commercial was, one of the beers he had made was a bratwurst beer, and it had chunks of bratwurst floating in it.
Right.
And I looked at it, and my reaction was, that's not how you make a bratwurst beer.
This is how you make a bratwurst beer.
So that's what I set out to do.
Is there actual bratwurst in your recipe?
There is no meat harmed in that recipe.
Okay.
There are, however, 3 other recipes where meat is definitely harmed.
In the book.
A good friend of mine contributed a recipe for a pork chop beer.
Wow. I do like a good pork chop.
And as a matter of fact, I just had a bottle of it on Learn to Homebrew Day. He brought a bottle and gave it to me, and it was astoundingly good. I've got to send down to Drew.
Oh, that's very cool. So these recipes, maybe not this pork chop one, but some of that we're talking about, they are in the book, right, in their entirety?
They're all in there.
Excellent. Okay. Here's another question that came through from the chat. Were there any experiments that went horribly wrong in the writing of this
pork
book?
chop beer?
Yeah.
Well, fortunately, the pork chop beer wasn't. I didn't have to claim credit for that one.
Anything that went horribly wrong. Not that I'll admit to.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there was that first photography session.
That was an experiment?
Did you forget to wear pants?
No, I mean, I can't. I mean, there's always experiments that go horribly wrong, but nothing stands out in my mind because I expect that that's going to happen sometimes.
Okay.
At least what brewing experiment ended up exactly the way you thought it would in not a good way?
Well, it depends upon your point of view, but I think the best one that I've done is the one that disproves my favorite bugaboo, which is, Denny and I are both lazy, right? So least effort, most beer. And a lot of people love the idea of doing a decoction.
Yeah.
And that's a hell of a lot of work.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And so in my favorite outcome, and which would be horrifying to a traditionalist, was, does decoction make a damn difference? Or can you fake it with melanoidin malt? And at least for the beer that I did, which was a Dunkel's, it turns out, you can fake it pretty well with melanoidin malt.
Excellent.
Well, and like I said, that would be horrifying to a traditionalist, but
horrifying.
Yeah. Yes. Not all of us want to spend hours in the garage stirring stuff.
Plus, proof is proof. I mean, what you're doing with setting out is there an actual substitute?
And decoction is one of those experiments I did years ago, like the first word hopping experiment. And we talk about that in the book also. Yeah. So, and I pretty much reached the same conclusion as Drew. Although, as I say in the book, I still do both decoctions and step mashes occasionally because if there's something there, I want to know it and I want to make sure I don't miss it. The corollary to my little mantra earlier about the best beer possible with the least effort possible is, but do anything it takes to make better beer. Just make sure that it is making better beer.
Sure. With the first line being the best beer possible, I completely understand what you mean.
Yeah.
So.
And it should also be said, since I can sense Doc is twitching a little.
He's twitching. He's having a hard time over here.
I can't see you, Doc, but I can feel the twitch.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same sense I got from Denny whenever I wrote a white stout recipe.
Yeah.
But the other part of that is the best beer, for you. Right,
yeah.
And I mean, if it turns out that you do that sort of experiment, and to you the experimental results bear out the idea that doing a decoction is a good thing, then by all means go forth, do a decoction, waste your propane and your time. Go for it.
So let's talk about how to evaluate that quickly, because you guys have both mentioned that after these experiments, you actually give us a set of things to do to evaluate the beer and to decide for us how the experiment went. So can you give me a couple of examples of what you've written about how we can evaluate our beer in this way?
We have a great section on the basic triangle tasting, and one thing we tried to do throughout this book was go out and find other people who knew more about stuff than we did and ask them about it also. So we have a section written by a lady named Kathy Haddock, who just retired as the head QA person at Sierra Nevada, about how she does triangle tastings.
Beautiful. So just a way to really objectively taste our beers afterward.
And I mean, there's stuff in there about, like, you know, it's very important, and you guys are going to break this later with the triangle test that you're going to do on the instant beer. But one of the things that you need to do when you do a triangle test is you need to keep your tasters as clueless as possible.
Okay.
So they need to be blind as to what the actual objective is or what you're measuring. So, like for instance, with Denny's first wort hopping experiment, one of the things that would be changed nowadays with our understanding of it is you don't tell people what it is that you're trying to do, right?
We give them 3 glasses of beer and say, pick out the different one.
I see.
So you just start from that point of view. And then the idea is, so three glasses of beer, 2 are the same, 1 is different. Depending upon which version of the triangle test you follow, there are some people who say, okay, well, what you do is you have them pick out the 1 that's different, or you do the inverse, pick out the 2 that's different. And the idea is that the second one's actually harder and should more forcefully eliminate random luck.
Okay.
But it can kind of be a cruel thing to do to people. We did it on stage at the NHC. And it turned out our least experienced taster was the one who actually pegged the right.
That's right.
Oh, that's interesting.
Can you knock them down, like on the BJCP? Like knock them down a notch?
You just got moved down.
Yeah.
Well, we could make one of us have all 3 of the same beer.
Yeah.
And we don't know who it is.
Right. Well, and that's actually a great experiment, and we do talk about that one because in the same chapter that we talked about how you taste things, there is a very long set of discussions about exactly how human perception works and the fact that we are all far more fallible at tasting than we think we are. And it goes into a couple of experiments that have been done professionally with like wine sommeliers, and the fact that they cannot tell if you blindfold them and pour them glasses of wine, they cannot successfully pick out the difference between a red and a white wine without visual aid.
Interesting.
Wow.
So, and that same corollary applies to beer people as well. Don't feel superior, folks.
Yeah, no, I would never do that.
I only drink dark beer, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Beardy, I thought everything's dark to you.
That's true.
Well, there's patches of white.
Yeah.
Well, in comparison.
So using our example here, Drew, since we're going to be doing this after the break, the Adwater beer that we have is a pale ale. I don't know if there's much description beyond that.
Yeah, I think it says it uses Cascade hops. The malts are aromatic.
Okay.
Oh.
That's about it.
Okay.
So well balanced.
Isn't everything aromatic?
What kind of water are we getting? I need to know that.
That'll give you more info. So my question here, Drew, is we've got a tap list to choose from. Are we just trying to pick, whatever pale ale we have to make as our 2 of the same and 1 that's different?
You're going to try and find the pale ale that you have on tap that is the closest in taste to the pale ale that you're creating from the rail kit or whatever it is.
It's going to be hard to do.
Someone's going to have to drink it first
to do a pre-taste,
and then pick the third pick the triangle beer, the third one.
Make it be.
We'll have one of our bartenders do it.
Or Bevo can do it. She hates everything.
Well, I was going to say, actually having one of the bartenders would be great to do it because the bartender can then serve as your blind as the brewcasters, and they can choose. Am I going to make 2 of the glasses the instant beer, or am I going to make 2 of the glasses the draft beer?
Oh, I see what you mean, because it could go either way. Good point. See, I'm glad we got Drew here.
We should have him in the...
Well, but the goal is just to pick out which one's different.
Sure, but he's saying that they can decide, is the different one going to be the Adwater beer, or is the different one going to be the commercial pale ale?
Yeah, the human nature would be that we give you 1 of the instant water ones and 2 good beers.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
And so that's the sort of like extra information that you're trying to defeat from your tasters, because the more you can obfuscate what the test is, and the more difficult that you can make it.
What was that word?
Obfuscate.
Testers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But the more that you can hide what it is that you're trying to do, or the difference, the more surety that you can have about the results that you're getting.
Okay. All right.
Is there alcohol in the instant beer?
Yeah, the little packet is 49% concentrated, and then when you pour it in, it creates a pint that's 5.4%.
Yeah, let's do
Which
shots of this shit.
It also gets you instantly drunk. So,
Yeah.
So what if we just lick
I just
the
want to pick
powder?
a pouch.
Instant alcohol is very different.
Yeah.
You also have to cram a bunch of nitrous into it before we.
It gets you instantly drunk and instantly
Just do shots
diabetic.
of it.
Yeah.
You guys going to go like a Capri Sun and just jam a straw right into
Yes.
the thing?
Oh, to the
But
bottom.
do you guys remember earlier this year somebody announced a trademark for PAL, powdered alcohol?
Yes.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
And yeah, one of the things that got them into trouble was on their website. They're like, "Don't snort the powdered alcohol."
Just line it up.
All right, gentlemen, before we have to go, I've just got a couple more questions. One of them is that you mentioned that if we go to experimentalbrew.com, is there a place for us to post our own experiments and results?
We're building it right now, but
You're building it, okay.
shortly it'll be there.
Because the idea is there's a bit of a community.
Right now, that we have sections for mash experiments, boil experiments, fermentation experiments, but we're working on making it a lot more structured. But yeah, in the meantime, you can still go there and post.
Okay.
Yep. And the whole idea should be that, since we don't have the greatest scientific controls or process controls as homebrewers, our individual results are somewhat questionable. So the idea should be that you gain confidence in repetition. So if we have 50 people do a test and it turns out that 40 people get the same result, there's a better chance that that's actually right.
Okay. I like it. It's kind of a community going along with the book.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I'm into it.
You should have a button for like weighted judge variability, so you can have, if you got really good judges,
yeah,
not so good judges, and it's a weighted thing.
Can you work on that algorithm for us, Drew?
Yes.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, -10 for brewcasters.
Yeah, definitely.
-2 for the hobo barfly who's waiting at 5 a.m. for the bar to open.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd give him more than that.
He's probably got more experience.
All right, and then I had a couple of sort of questions outside of the book that came through on the chat that I wanted to ask you guys quickly. One of them was just the guests' thoughts on the quality of all grain versus extract beers. You guys have any leg to stand on there?
We do, and I think we actually talked about it in the book, or at least we were going to. We ended up cutting so much from the book that it's hard to remember what's actually in.
Oh.
But to me, I think outside of a few things like saisons or very, 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 very pale beers, the real difference between an extract brew and an all-grain brew is going to be in the experience of the brewer. So the reason why I think a lot of us have grown accustomed to the idea that extract brew sucks is because most of the brewers who are making extract beer are sucky newbie brewers.
Good point. Good point.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
How dare you?
And so, I mean, I've gone back like before one of these conferences or before a festival or something like that. I've gone and made like an extract batch that was like one of those things where I could do it in 2 hours and gain another beer to put on tap. And you know what? They're pretty damn good.
Okay.
Because the real magic, as we know, is all about that fermentation control.
Yeah.
And
So-
this would be a good place to announce that on November 17th, Drew Beecham and Denny Kahn beer kits will be introduced from Brewcraft.
Wow.
Excellent.
Signature.
So that leads me then to my final question from the chat room, which is for you, Denny. And this listener says that Denny's, BVIP recipe?
Yep, Bourbon Vanilla Imperial Porter.
Okay. He says it's been a legend on beer forums for over a decade. What are your 2 cents on that phenomena?
There's no accounting for taste.
Good enough for me.
I mean, it's one of those beers that, quite frankly, I love to drink, but I tire of quickly. In spite of the fact that I came up with that recipe, my preference is generally towards beer-flavored beer. But I'll tell you, though, up here in Oregon, when it's cold and pouring rain and I've got the wood stove going because the power is out, that is a great beer to drink.
Okay.
Well, that's what's in my fermenter right now.
Oh, Denny's recipe?
I'm honored.
It's a bourbon vanilla imperial porter.
Yeah, nice.
Christmas time's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it came from. I developed my recipe to give to friends for Christmas presents. Its official name is Rudolph's Foggy Night.
Beautiful.
Now, by the way, I will offer a suggestion to anybody who's looking for co-authors. It usually helps if your co-author doesn't live in the middle of the woods and loses his internet for days at a time because of snowstorms.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happened last year for sure. I had to drive 30 miles into town through the snow to go sit at the airport and use their internet.
Wow. That's dedication.
That's dedication.
I feel like it's people in town are like, look, it's Mick Dodge. Oh, no, wait, it's Denny Conn.
It's the guy who wrote that Sacred Herbal Healing beer.
Yeah. Quick, get him to tell you your fortune.
Oh, no, it's just a grizzly bear with dreadlocks.
Hey, if you sign up for Dish Network, I get $50.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Doc needs $50.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you so much for being on the program and for writing this book for homebrewers.
It's been a real pleasure, Justin. I look forward to seeing all you guys in San Diego this summer.
Absolutely. We hope to see you there for the National Homebrewers Conference. Of course, in the meantime, you can go to experimentalbrew.com and check it out. And where can people buy the book right now, guys?
All your finest retailers, if you come to our website, we have links. But Amazon, Barnes & Noble, our publisher has a website. I'm fairly certain Joe down the street with a shopping cart full of books will sell you one, too.
Lots of homebrew shops are carrying it. If you want an autographed copy, you can contact Drew or me directly.
Beautiful.
That's awesome. Yeah. I like that.
All right, guys, thank you. Congratulations on the release of the book, and maybe, Denny, you might get to enjoy a little retirement here soon.
Yeah, this is my retirement fund, so everybody buy the book.
All right, I'm buying it. Click the Amazon link on our homepage and look up Experimental Homebrewing. Get the book from Drew and Denny. They're good guys, and they got a lot to give back to this community. Drew, Denny, thanks, guys.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
There you go. Good dudes, both of them. Fun to be around, and I bet the book's just as fun to read. So
I got to ask, how much does it take to retire into the forest?
Right. Well, I'm sure he can retire, but then can he ever leave the forest again? Right. That's why he had to write the book.
He probably would.
He's got 3 freezers of beer meat, so he's good for at least 2 years.
So we got to get ready for this beer experiment, and here's what I'm thinking, Moscow. Let's go out there and we'll have our manager tonight, Aaron, taste the. Do we have enough to pour one and have him taste it and then still get us?
Yeah, I have 2 pints worth, so we have tasters to go around.
So get him
That's more than enough.
I want Aaron to taste it and pick the pale ale that's on our tap list that will be most like it. Just get as close as we can. Then I want our bartender Laura to come in and do the taste test with us.
Okay.
I want a non-brewcaster in here.
Will she be blind too?
To do it. We're going to blindfold her for no reason. That's actually just for our own enjoyment. We're going to blindfold her and then do
handcuff her.
And then do the triangle taste test.
Sign this waiver and then put this
radio. You were not touched.
Now, Aaron, I want you to decide that the premise of the triangle test is that 2 beers are the same and 1 beer is different. Now, I'm going to let you decide, are the 2 beers that are the same going to be the one you choose from the tap list, and the water beer will be different, or you'll give us 2 of the water beer, and the tap list beer will be the one different one. Does that make sense? You just got to do one or the other.
Yes.
I'll leave it totally up to you. You take care of it, and then you send Laura back here to do the taste test with us. You'll be the only one in the whole place that knows the real what we have in front of us.
It's a big responsibility.
All right, good.
Just send Laura back here first.
Aaron's a home brewer. He's a big beer guy. He knows his beer. In fact, I think he helps out at Black Diamond, the local brewery here sometimes too.
Oh, nice.
So he's got a good palate to pick the pale ale for us.
All right.
And then Laura knows our beers too, so I think she'll be great to just try to see if we can pick out the different one.
That's going to be so good.
You know that the disaster lover in me just wants us all to, not be able to tell the difference between an add water beer and a normal beer.
We don't know. You think add water is going to be close?
We don't know
I
that
hope
this
so.
is bad.
No, we don't.
No idea.
And I hope that Tasty is the one who can't pick it out.
So too.
I'm assuming it's going to be bad because it's processed down and boiled, but
We don't know.
It could be great. I also want to save a pack and put it on my waffles.
The winner has to shoot that second pouch.
Yeah. And
Okay. The winner. The winner gets to shoot the second.
The loser gets to just chug 46% syrup.
Right.
All right, so we're going to take us a little break here, and when we come back, we're going to taste Just Add Water beer and see how we do. Hang in there. It's The Session.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and the freshest ingredients, backed by the best customer service in the business. Do you like to mash using efficient fly sparging, but would like an easy way to heat your strike and sparge water? Enter the new Brewer's Edge electric mash water heater, a plug-in, anywhere, precisely controlled heater for strike and sparge water. Ditch the fumes and second burner and make mashing easy. Go to williamsbrewing.com today and browse their vast selection. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy the Williams way.
When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for every beer style. I want a Cicerone.
The Cicerone Certification Program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a Certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious. Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San, SanaClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today. Adventures in Homebrewing have the knowledge and expertise to craft their own gear and original recipes. Some of the things homebrewing.org creates and manufactures in-house are the Brutus brew stands and propane burners, the Serial Killer adjustable 2-roller grain mill with 7-pound hopper, custom stainless steel false bottoms designed to fit kegels, coolers, and mini-sized brew pots. And the BN Army receives 10% off their homebrewing.org orders when they use coupon code AIH10 at checkout. The brewers at Adventures in Homebrewing have designed a huge selection of original recipes for extract and all-grain brewing. Adventures in Homebrewing original recipes are tried and tested, proven to be of the best quality. And right now, Adventures in Homebrewing is shipping 24 of their best recipes for free. Visit homebrewing.org for the most current selection. Once you try one of Adventures in Homebrewing recipes, you'll keep coming back for more. And now, it's even easier with free shipping on these kits. And don't forget to use the current coupon code AIH10. Adventures in Homebrewing at homebrewing.org.
Segmented, demented, fermented.
It's The Session.
right, a lot of excitement building here in the studio as we are starting to blindfold each other.
Yes.
And then do this official, actual blind taste test. Once I saw the beers poured, I saw that there were some different visual attributes that might give away which one is different. So I decided that we're actually going to do it blind.
Yeah.
So everybody does have the beers in front of them. We're going to just go down the row one at a time and do it this way. So those of you just joining us, here's what's happening. We found out some months ago about a beer that is a beer concentrate. It comes in a little packet. It's called...
Very similar.
Well, it's from a company called Backcountry Beverages, believe it or not. And the beer that we have is their Pale Rail. And what you get is this little...
Pale Rail.
You get a little pouch of beer. I don't know which camera's on. The main camera? You get a little pouch of beer. It's like a Mylar bag or something, some sort of vacuum sealed Mylar. It's what it is. It's a beer concentrate. You add
alcohol.
You add carbonated water, and supposedly you have a wonderful craft beverage. According to the website, a delicate blend of aromatic malts and Cascade hop delivers a complex yet well-balanced craft brew wherever your adventures take you.
Right, now, that's something to keep in mind. This is
space.
sort of a camping type item. That's the intent here.
Sure, or maybe camping. Maybe
I mean, if you're at the bar, you're not going to be making this when you can get a real.
You wouldn't do it at the bar, but I could see myself smuggling these into the ballpark, for example,
or onto an airplane flight,
or onto an airplane, so that I don't have to
There's other ways.
Purchase beer. Yeah. In its package. It's 49% alcohol by volume.
So, yeah, it's a shooter.
Can't we just do shooter?
Yeah.
Can't we just do the shooter?
Yeah.
So what we've set up here is the triangle test that we talk about with Drew Beecham. I was hoping to get Laura in here to taste with us too, but it didn't work out that way because our manager fucked it up.
That's bullshit.
Aaron, you're a jerk.
Demoted?
I don't want to demote the poor kid yet. Maybe.
Give him a side motive.
I'm going to write him up. He's going to get a write-up. He's going to get a write-up for ruining our Laura in-studio experience for the listeners.
I thought it was pretty spelled out.
We had her blindfolded, too.
It's all about the listeners.
Pretty spelled out.
I mean, we don't care.
Happen. I think sometimes I don't speak English or something. I give instructions. And
that's racist.
Speak American.
Poor Aaron's getting thrown under the bus out in front of our customers and everything. So now here's what we have. You've all got 3 beers in front of you. Do not move them around from the coasters that they're sitting on. Tasty, do me a favor. Put yours on the coasters that...
just stop fucking cheating.
Put them on there.
Wouldn't it be great if we had this pre-recorded and we all had left the studio while JP was blindfolded?
Yeah. Everybody leave. This is JP's, I think, fantasy right now. Bevo's behind him, blindfolding him right now.
Yeah.
She's about to put a finger in it. Never mind. All right, so JP's blindfolded. Now, because I think that he saw the glasses in front of him. Oh, you mix him up since he's been blindfolded. So we're just going to go.
Blindfolded since you've been blind.
JP, they're going to guide your hand to each beverage. All you need to do after tasting all 3 is tell us which one. You're going to tell me 2 things. You're going to tell me which one is the different one. Okay?
Yeah.
And then you're going to tell me which one you think is the fake beer, the add water beer.
Okay.
So this is beer number 1.
All right.
And you'll taste all 3 before giving us any answers. Although, feel free to talk about flavors.
They look amazingly similar.
They do. Aaron did a nice job of finding a pale ale that looks similar. I still wanted to stack the deck in the blind favor and blindfold us anyway.
The color and the density is amazingly...
Yeah.
But
they're sparkly.
Now, these are only 2-ounce pours. I hope that he made the full concentrate, and then because otherwise we're about to get drunk. It's just a couple sips. All right, and now JP's tasting beer number 3. So all he needs to do is tell us which one's different, and then which one he thinks is the add water beer.
You'd think the add water one would have been a little bit cloudy.
Do you want me to tell you now before everyone?
Yes. Because everyone's going to be blindfolded. They won't know what they're looking at. All you have to do is tell me...
but we can see what coaster he's pulling from.
But you won't see what coaster you're pulling from.
Don't mix it up. But
stop fucking with it. Just do what I say.
But as soon as I talk about it, they're going to get it right away once they smell it.
All you have to... Don't talk about it. Just do the 2 things I've asked for, which is tell me which one's different And then which one's fake?
Thank you. The third one is different.
Okay.
The third one is fake.
Okay. Got it. Now Moscow is.
That's why I wanted to clarify. I didn't want to know. I want to know how much detail I could give.
Yeah. No, that
Okay.
works perfect. Now we will blindfold our second contestant, which will be Doc.
You didn't tell me about this.
Oh my
part.
God! I'm out in the parking
I didn't
lot.
know about this part.
Welcome
till the
back.
break.
Am I going to wake up without a kidney?
It could happen. It depends. How much is your kidney worth?
Do you have two still?
At your age.
These work really good.
We'll give you a kid or a knee.
All right, you're now blindfolded. We are swapping the way the beers are in front of you. We're going to guide your hand to beer number 1. And the same thing, Doc, go ahead. Taste all 3. No commentary needed other than which one is different, which one is fake. All right, guide him to beer number 2, please. Everybody be careful not to spill beer on the studio as we're blindly grabbing at beers. I think we should do more blindfolded games. This is fun already.
We could revive What's in Schumann's Mouth.
Yeah, we should bring back What's in Schumann's Mouth. That was good radio.
Are we blindfolded when that happens, or is Schumann blindfolded
Schumann
when that
is,
happens?
and it's fun for everybody. All right, now, Doc, with blindfold still on, tell us which one is different. He says number 1 is different, and which one is fake. Number 1, also choosing the same one twice.
You can use your words
as JP did as well.
It's radio.
All right, it's
All right.
Tasty's turn to be blindfolded. And do
Will
the
he live up
test.
to his name? We don't know. Can Tasty taste?
Can Tasty taste?
Stay tuned.
That's a new game, isn't it? We'll play that before we play What's in Schumann's Mouth.
Oddly similar.
Where do you guys get carbonated water? You get
Mix them up.
almost don't get water in here.
Yeah, Moscow brought in his Soda Stream. Smart thinking
Of course
there.
he did.
So we had a bottle of carbonated water to add to
Why
it.
do you have a Soda Stream?
Says kid loves soda. Carbonated water, he says he loves. All right, so Tasty is doing his tasting now. He's on the second beer already. He's going to go through all 3 beers and
He's a
tell us which one he thinks is different and
big
which
man
one
hands over there.
he thinks is the water.
Let me guide these pork chops over here.
Okay,
Whoa,
good
that
enough.
was almost
All right,
good.
I got it.
All right, Tasty, blindfold still on. Tell us which one is different.
Number 2 is different, and I believe it is the fake.
Okay. Once again, picking the same one as different and fake. Now we're on to Beardy. 2 contestants left. That's Beardy and myself. Yes, Bevo wants to know if she can use his own beard to blindfold him. I believe that's acceptable.
How am I going to drink? Oh, okay.
And she's making a drink hole for you.
Yeah.
No, Bevo, keep up the good work.
Yeah.
I think I need you to blindfold him and make a drink hole.
That's like taking a man's sword and stabbing him with it.
But you know, if you're pouring
and then
the bad one
just
in-
hold him right there so I can get a photo for the folks at home.
Oh, if you pour the bad one,
Beardy,
in
this
his
is
beard,
this is the best photo
he
of
gets
you
it all
ever. Okay, and go ahead and give him. Well, we're rotating his glasses now.
Thank you.
Beardy, you can't see, right?
What's your shampoo of choice?
You've never
for the
looked
beard?
better, Justin.
Thank you. You can't see. All right, so he's trying beer number 1 right now. You look like a weird cross between like a Wookiee and a cousin It.
Yeah. Well, he's
and
going out on the frozen tundra.
You look like a hairy Patrick Swayze right now. I don't know why. All right, he's going
he should be driving a Tauntaun.
his third beer now. He does,
neck. Does he have a chin, though?
All right, he's tasted all 3 beers. Which one, 1, 2, or 3 is different?
3 is different, and it's the fake.
Okay, got it.
It's not fake. It's just
add water.
Yeah.
All right. Should I put my glasses on for this?
Why? What, are you going to see through your blindfold, Dummy?
Yeah, I feel like that's what I need it for.
You want to use my beard?
Yeah, can I also use Beardy's beard as my blindfolding device? I will probably throw up in your beard if I had to have
You're going to throw up through your eyes?
wrapped across my face.
Why don't you use my pubic beard?
I got a merkin over here if you want.
How about those arm curtains?
All right, I'm trying beer number 1. You know I'm going to be the one to spill the beer. Okay. I hope I'm not the only one to get it wrong.
I hope you are.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I'm giving you a fitty to get it wrong.
Even though there's 3 beers.
All right.
And number 3.
He's tasting them. Mm-hmm. Beverly securely making sure the blindfold is on
He's
his
spending
face.
some time on the last one.
I'm pretty sure. See, the pressure, there's a lot of pressure.
There's a lot of pressure.
It comes down to you.
Number one is different. Number one is water beer.
Water beer.
Water.
All right. I'm not going to look at my order because
Why would you?
I actually know which beer is on which coaster, but I haven't, so I don't know my own results. But Moscow does. He's taken down the results.
Should we let Bevo do it?
Yes, actually,
Yeah,
she should.
We should have Bevo do it. And
can we hold her down?
Bevo probably doesn't even have to do it blindfolded. Bevo, you can just taste him, I think. And yeah.
All right.
I don't have coasters.
Oh, but Moscow, can you look at it and know which one's which in there?
I can't.
Yeah, so
count
Moscow
unless-
knows what's up anyway. So go ahead and taste. You're the only one that doesn't have to be blindfolded. And,
No, I can't.
She can't count unless there's coasters underneath her drink.
Shut up.
I don't have coasters, so I can't do it.
I sure hope I'm right, and if I am, I'm not a big fan of the beer so far.
Yeah.
Everybody feels the same.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, even I know this.
Okay. So far, Bevo thinks she knows what's
It
what.
was 2 and 1.
Yeah, no, number one is disgusting.
Okay, you know what she's picking there?
I do, yeah.
All right, Moskowitz, why don't you go ahead and give us the results, because I have a feeling it's not important to go down one by one.
It's not. Everybody nailed it, including you and Bevo.
Woo! Thank God.
Yeah.
And can we talk about the lack of head retention on water beer?
So, water beer has a significant lack of carbonation.
Yeah.
We might need to do this test again one day with some even more carbonated water to account for the pouring of it. Like, it was probably heavily carbonated, but once you dump and mix and...
Yeah, and the problem with the soda stream is you can't really recarb once you have the concentrate in there. Like if soda, beer, whatever it is you're pouring in there, it has to just be water when you force carb it.
Yeah.
And so I carbonated it as much as it could possibly be before I brought it, and it still, was not enough.
Did you carbonate the water first?
Yes.
So probably when you mixed it and you stirred it up to mix it, you drove all the carbonation.
I tried to. I very gently rolled it to mix. I mean, I really tried to be gentle.
Sure, but even once you have it pressurized and you release it to pour the thing and you're venting off gas.
Right.
So
that's what I was saying, is that we just might need...
You guys
maybe for the next test, we'll line up some other commercial carbonated water and see which is the most carbonated,
or just
use that one.
Have someone sacrifice a keg.
You put it in a 2 liter.
You could use a keg.
2 liter soda.
You actually shake it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Overcarbonate it. You'll get it to where you want it before it comes in.
So that would have helped, but let's be honest.
It's not going to make it.
I still think it was obvious which was the water beer, right?
It tasted and smelled like a dry erase marker.
Yeah.
Dry
erase. Taste it again.
But we would have huffed that.
Well, right, that's why we'd have a marker next time and go...
Yeah,
Which is the marker?
It is kind of like a dry erase marker.
I smelled it. I got banana nut bread.
It has like a caramely smell, like it's barrel aged.
I think banana nut bread is the perfect description.
Bevo, one question.
What you want?
Would Sammy like it?
No.
How about straight out of
Would Sammy drink
I wanna,
it?
Yes.
What's the straight syrup
It depends
taste
upon
like?
how many beers he's had that night.
It tastes like banana nut bread with children's Tylenol in it.
Yes, dry
It's
erase
got,
marker, like solvent-y.
Yeah, it has the medicinal character because it has higher alcohols in it.
I see.
You can tell it was a stressful ferment. Whenever it was made, it wasn't made in a very kind fermentation.
So, Tasty, forgetting what we know about you, which is that if you went camping, you'd bring your own beer. Let's take that out of the equation. Yeah. Would this pass the tasty camping test? Would you...
Hey, if I was out there and had no beer at all, and wanted some alcohol that I could drink, and sure, I'd drink this.
You'd go for it.
Yeah.
I would too.
I think I agree with that.
No, I would say as a design for that product, it's a success. In terms of quality of beer, it's a big.
If I was
failure.
backpacking,
yeah. Lightweight. Would you bother adding water, or would you just drink the 49% packet?
I'd go
not
Imperial.
the first packet. I'd put water in, then I would experiment.
So I am curious what just a packet tastes like. Can we get a glass in here and let's just dump a packet in a glass?
No. We got to do it the Molly way. You just got to
the Molly way.
Put it in.
What? Yeah, no, squeeze it on your finger.
Did you just teach us how to do drugs?
No, did not.
Who's Molly?
Molly, that's a friend of yours, I think, right?
Do you have to shake it up first? I don't know. I'm
Just
gonna do it anyway.
cut it and squeeze it on your finger.
You got to mix it up.
And then
does it feel real thick?
I'd rather
like you
sip
could
it from a
squeeze
glass.
Is that a gel? Is it just powder?
Yeah.
I don't know. We're about to find out. No, it's liquid.
Oh, it's not a syrup.
Oh.
I don't know what it is. I haven't seen it yet.
I thought it was powder.
That's why I want it to go in a glass. Let's
It's like
figure
17 to 1 or
Can't even tell.
Let's figure it all out. It doesn't feel like syrup. It feels very liquidy to me.
I like how you and I say syrup the right way.
It's liquid.
Syrup.
I bet it's better like this than it is adding water.
Justin?
Now it looks like a doppelbock.
Wow, yeah, that's real dark.
Up the arm. Oh, it does look like a doppelbock.
And it smells more like a beer. It still has the...
I know what it is.
Are they polyphenols that you're talking about with the mad fermentation?
Yeah.
So I can smell that, and I can smell the banana in it still as well.
You get any oxidized character?
But it definitely smells more like a beer.
It's Utopias.
I don't know if I do get the oxidized.
I definitely got it on the when there's water in it.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I got. It tasted like an old IPA.
I have a suggestion.
Oh,
from
it's far better like this.
the chat.
It's not good, but it's better.
That's even better.
I don't want to
You need
reach
to bring
over
any
my...
water?
Let's just go down the list here. I don't want to reach over
I thought
my
you
board.
weren't passing. I thought you were keeping it to yourself.
I don't want to give it away.
We can replace the packet in ramen.
Oh.
Booze noodles.
Flavor our ramen. That's a good idea, Bevo.
That was good.
You get some carbs.
What do you think, JP?
I can't get past the smell.
Yeah, it's a weird
It's
smell.
atrocious.
You got to just
More
a little,
dry erase
just a little
marker?
sip, little Utopia style
Your house
sip.
is full of atrocious smells.
No.
Yeah, JP's making a very
horrible
bad
look
face.
on his face.
No, it's very alcoholic smell.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's better than the water version.
Really?
Yeah.
You need help.
If I went camping, that's how I drink it.
Really?
A little snifter. Dump it right in there, man.
You don't need carbonation. You're ready to go.
Carbonation could help. But
If your van doesn't start, you can just breathe in the carburetor.
I think I'd rather put Jack Daniels in a Ziploc and go camping.
Well, there's definitely higher alcohols in there. Like
49%.
No, I'm talking about the headachy ones.
Yeah. I'd rather put Jack Daniels in a Ziploc and throw it out the window.
Don't Doc's taking like 8 sips. Pass it along.
He's got to be sure.
Puff, puff, pass, Doc. Puff, puff, pass.
That was the only taste I had. Everything else was a sniff.
God, my mouth is still on fire.
Wow.
47%. Huh?
Now I want to improve on this.
Will you pass it along already?
Yeah,
No, I like it.
Do you like it better that way?
Oh yeah.
No, you're both stupid.
No, it's much better that way. But
You're both dumb.
Yeah,
I can make
like
it.
paint.
I can make it better.
It tastes like paint too. Watch out.
I'll make it better.
It's a little painty.
How would you make it? How would you make a concentrate like this?
Well, because they went along the way of getting.
It's really
the
annoyingly
alcohol
hoppy.
there.
It's got a lot of IBUs in there. For
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
A different
See, I didn't
way.
even notice that.
I've had
yeah.
a distilled beer before, and it was great. That you might have made.
Hang on, one conversation at a time here. Let me go back to Tasty. Tasty actually tastes the hops in it that way.
Yeah. I get a lot of the IBUs that way.
Yeah, it's very bitter.
Yeah, very bitter.
I mean, honestly, even in the water version, the proper version, it has some firm. I wouldn't say firm. There is some bitterness there too. There's a little bit of hop flavor too. If you want to start complimenting this thing, it feels like it may have been a good recipe, but the execution's kind of funk, man.
Oh, it could be improved on. If I had a cigar with it and like out by the fire,
you would explode.
It's sort of like putting ranch on things. If I could cover it up with something, it would taste great.
Or if you're blobber, mayonnaise.
Yeah.
But it's like a really weird brandy.
Yeah. I agree that it's better concentrated.
Everybody agrees it's better concentrated except for the Jip.
Not that it's good.
I said the same thing. It is not good.
Not that I can get you to drink it again.
It's better in that form than it is as a full beer.
Yeah. Put you to sleep.
There's more flavors. There's more flavors besides the dry erase marker in that.
Tasty's saying it's the final.
I would take that if I was going to go backpacking, which would be like any world.
Right. We all understand how hypothetical this is.
Right.
As soon as I learned hand
fighting zombies,
civilization is destroyed.
That's the only reason I would do that is it was zombie. I would take that. It'd be really efficient. Just a packet.
Yep.
I would just take it right out of the packet. It'd be great.
When one can't carry a keg.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Carry whatever it's called. What's this shit called?
Pale
rail.
Oh, can we do rails? But
that's when you just drink it as a concentrate. That's like the equivalent of doing a rail.
You're riding the rail
right out of the pack. I need that brandy snifter.
That was foul.
Oh, you'd want to write.
You guys are stupid.
You want the right kind of glassware, huh, Doc?
You like the watered down version more?
Yeah, I like the glassware. Yeah.
I wouldn't drink either one of them.
What's
If I were presented with this or nothing, I'd opt for nothing.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, okay,
absolutely.
excuse me.
Oh, yeah, I would choose
2
nothing.
weeks of nothing?
Yeah.
Whoever chooses to be sober.
Oh, one
for
night
2
of
weeks.
nothing, fine. 2 weeks of nothing.
If this was my only option, I would definitely.
2 weeks
I don't
of
really
nothing.
drink.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 weeks of Sam and us camping together.
You're going to need a drink.
You're going to be begging for the pale rail.
No, I'll be giving you guys.
And we're not talking about a beer.
Well, yeah, the other.
Shut up, Warren.
Begging for the pale rail. They should, by the way, guys, Backcountry Beverages, you can have that as your new T-shirt design.
You're going to be
begging for the pale rail.
Begging for the pale rail.
Well, you guys can get ready for the next one from them. They have another flavor, the Black Hops. I believe it's a black IPA.
No, they don't.
They most certainly do.
No, it doesn't.
Why would they
exist.
go with that second?
I think you need the hoppier beers to cover up the terrible flavors.
It didn't taste hoppy, though. It was very sweet to me.
The concentrate?
That's the alcohol.
Both.
Hey, just put some ears on it and you'll be fine.
I don't know what that means.
What is that? Yeah.
That's a Disneyland thing.
It is?
That's how JP will like it? Is that what you're
Put
saying?
some ears on it, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Some covers.
Sorry, I needed a bridge for the connection.
So I still need that bridge. If you can help me out, that'd be great.
That's something to do with you liking Disneyland.
Okay, great.
Oh.
And apparently Disneyland gives you horns.
Right.
And I said ears.
All right, that's our blind. That is our first ever blindfolded taste.
And now,
test.
Pretty well. What was the control beer? Anybody? Was that the?
I don't know. Hey,
New Belgian Pale.
Aaron,
that was too hoppy for New Belgium.
Aaron, can you come in here and tell us what the collaboration beer was?
It's really nice to wash down the pale rail with whatever this.
With the other beer?
With the other beer, yeah.
Let's see if we can pick it out. I think it's 1,500.
I think it's the New Belgian Pale. It has more of a Belgian character.
I also think it's 1,500.
Yeah,
much more of that, we would have had a blind test.
But there's a mosaic pale out there. There's a couple of pales on.
Oh, maybe
The New Belgium is the
I
mosaic.
haven't had.
All right, Moscow's coming back with the answer.
It was the Victory Headwater Pale Ale.
Oh, none of us were correct.
You'll suck.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was on the.
It's good pale ale.
This good.
Well, mine's gone.
Mm-hmm. I'm shocked.
Really?
All three of his glasses are gone, too.
Do you want mine, Doc?
Do you want the rest of this concentrate?
Yeah.
All right, folks, real quick, let me let you know about the American Homebrewers Association. You already know about them, but they're a great supporter of the Brewing Network, and they have been for a long time, and we like to support them, too. Of course, we've been going to their National Homebrewers Conference every year for about the past 9 years. This will be our 10th anniversary when we go in 2015. And right now, they're doing a Battle of the Bottle label voting over. I think this is through our friends with GrogTag, too.
That's right. GrogTag is giving away the grand prize, which is a bunch of free labels and metal signs and a bunch of swag and stuff.
So that's super cool. If you go over to homebrewersassociation.org right now, you'll see right there on their homepage the Battle of the Bottle Labels logo. You can't miss it. It's huge. And you can vote for your favorite label. They received 117 entries into the Battle of the Bottle Labels contest. So they want to thank everybody that entered. But now you can go there and vote for your favorite ones. And I'm seeing some super cool entries, too. For example, there is one with David Hasselhoff in a Speedo and his Knight Rider jacket.
Yeah.
And I think
Hofeweizen?
you can't go wrong with that, with a good Hofeweizen. No, they did it. They went the full. They went Hasselhoff-Weizen.
Oh, nice.
There's a lot of actually David Hasselhoff labels that come through. It's very weird.
Because he's just
from the same guy.
Yeah, him and Magnum PI.
They're that lovable.
Yeah, they are.
Go over to homebrewersassociation.org and check it out. You can vote now. And by the way, if you're not a member of the AHA, you should be. You can click on the AHA link right on our homepage and do so. It's a great way to support both us and them, and they do some good things for you. So go check it out, homebrewersassociation.org. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to do a little bit of beer news and probably drink some more beer and get ourselves out of here. Well done, Moscow, getting us the Adwater beer.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys all enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
Doc made off with the concentrate. He left the studio.
That's funny. It is something we've been wanting to do for a while, so I'm just glad to finally taste it. You know?
Yeah, I reported on it. I think it's been like over a year.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well done. Way to execute. All right, we'll be right back. It's the session. Beer news when we come back, and a little bit more, too. Hang in there.
You're listening to the Brewcasters.
Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Introducing Clarity Firm from White Labs, an amazing tool for pro brewers and home brewers. Clarity Firm is an endoprotease that will reduce chill haze and increase the stability of your beer, and produces gluten-reduced beer. Clarity Firm is easy to use. Just add it when you pitch your yeast, and Clarity Firm will do its work during fermentation. When fermentation is complete, chill haze will already have been addressed. In addition, reduce the gluten content in beers made with barley and wheat with Clarity Firm. Most beers made with Clarity Firm will test below 20 parts per million, the current international standard for gluten-free. Better looking and more stable beer with the added benefit of reduced gluten, so you can pour your beer for more friends and customers. Why wouldn't you use Clarity Firm? Clarity Firm from White Labs. The reasons are crystal clear. Learn more at whitelabs.com.
Hey, Wooly, I'm beat. Can we find a nice tree to just hang out in for a while?
You're beat. I've been swinging through this forest for 50 years, ever since we first escaped from the circus. I know, but there's got to be more to life than exploring this creek and trying to populate the valley by copulating with loose, hairy girls. Marquis, stop. Look.
What is that?
It looks like a man-made treehouse.
With fresh food.
And craft beer.
Welcome to the Creek Monkey Tap House, boys. Grab a seat. Creek Monkeys drink free.
Awesome! The Creek Monkey Tap House in Martinez, California takes their mission of fresh food and beer seriously. They only serve locally raised beef and chicken, as well as local sustainable produce. It's better for you and the planet, and it just tastes better. The beer and wine at Creek Monkey Tap House are chosen with the same care for the highest quality and rotate frequently to make each visit an adventure. Swing on into the Creek Monkey Tap House and enjoy a new legend of amazing food, beer, and wine. The Creek Monkey Tap House, online at creekmonkey.com.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters, this is Jamel Zanishev, and I love a bold, hoppy beer, one that spits resin in your face and makes you cry uncle. There are a lot of great hoppy beers out there, but at Heretic, we want to make something as bold, dank, and resiny as possible. We use hops at every chance we get, including multiple dry hop additions. The result is Heretic Evil Cousin. This light golden, 8% Imperial IPA has an easy malt character that helps take the edge off the massive bittering, but it takes a back seat to the in-your-face hop character. We make sure this beer finishes dry so the hops can jump out and slam me in the taste buds. If you can't get enough hoppy goodness, Evil Cousin is your cup of tea. Cheers.
Segmented, demented, fermented.
It's the session.
Thank you for sticking around and hanging out with us. That was a fun taste test we got to do there, and hopefully you learned a little something too. Although I highly doubt it. I mean, really, I highly doubt it. But you can learn from the folks over at Beersmith. Go to beersmith.com right now, and if you're looking for some recipe software, you get a free 21-day trial of the best brewing software on the market. I stand by that statement. But you don't have to take my word for it because you get a free 21-day trial. So if you think I'm wrong, you can just give it right back. Also, there's tons of tutorials happening over there. For example, they have an all-new How to Brew Extract and All Grain DVD series along with our good friend John Palmer. You can right now buy the DVD, How to Brew All Grain. There's a trailer for the video right on the website. So if you go to beersmith.com/DVD, you'll see it right there. And, you know, check out the trailer. See if it's any good for you. But Brad over there at Beersmith also does podcast interviews, their video interviews. He does them quite often and does some really good ones. In fact, I'm glad that he's out there getting some more beer information into the world on top of his wonderful brewing software. So go check it out, beersmith.com. We really like the product, and I think that you will too.
Yep.
All right, so I think it's time for us to do a little beer news, isn't it?
Let's do it.
All
What
right.
about feedback?
Let's check it. We already did feedback, you
I know, but
maniac.
it was very short.
Remember those two emails?
What do you want me to invent feedback
No,
between?
I thought maybe some more came in. And we could,
In a few hours.
Between 6:20 and now?
Yeah. Please.
Now let's do some beer news instead.
It's the Brewing Network's Beer News, brought to you by homebrewstuff.com.
Well, Bend, Oregon's 10-barrel brewing company has been acquired by AB InBev for an undisclosed sum. AB acquiring brands, of course, is nothing new. They bought New York's Blue Point Brewing earlier this year, and there was the $40 million Goose Island deal back in 2011 We covered that on the show a lot.
Yeah.
The interesting thing here is that 10 Barrel is on pace to do about 40,000 barrels this year in 2014. And AB, of course, is at 190 million. So to call 10 Barrel a tiny drop in their bucket, it would still be an overstatement.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you guys think? You think this will alienate 10 Barrel's fan base? I guess social media is just aghast.
Well, yeah. If you look at social media, that's the word. Everybody's very upset.
Everybody's very upset. I'm just wondering why. It's just like, really?
I'm not getting
I don't usually read these things, and I went and I read all the articles I could on this, and it's like, God, you guys are beating this up.
Yeah.
And
I haven't run across anybody.
Are you talking about the Twitter people beating them up?
It's news, and so everybody's posting here, posting it there, and everybody's got a big opinion on it.
And it's mostly negative, let's be honest. Tasty, what were you going to say in what you've been reading?
Well, in the beer aisle at the store, I bet you could do a random survey, and nobody there would even know that this even occurred.
So that's one of the arguments, I think, of people feeling that this is a negative occurrence, is that eventually the lines will become blurred between who owns what and who's a small company and who's not, because at the beer shelf, from a consumer standpoint, it will eventually become transparent. I mean, right now, if you look at the beer shelf, it's pretty much divided. We do great in California. We have so much craft beer just at the grocery store. But that beer aisle is divided pretty much between the big beer companies and the craft breweries. Yeah. Now, there are some of the bigger-owned craft beers speckled in our craft beer aisle. Like Anheuser-Busch owns a couple of smaller divisions. They name them something different.
Yeah, like Sierra Ridge or something.
So the argument will be one of the arguments is that there'll be so much more of that you can't tell if you're supporting a local company, if it's a craft brewery, or if it's owned by InBev.
There's no doubt that they can make good craft beer.
Yeah.
They have infrastructure. They're going to make it.
Right.
But
why don't they, by the way?
They do.
Where?
But actually, this is a valid question. They actually don't make very good craft beer compared to what we all think they could make.
Yeah.
Well, Goose Island is pretty good.
Goose Island, yes.
No,
he's talking about full-on Anheuser-Busch. When they have their little division called, like, Sunny Lakes or whatever.
Because the market doesn't demand that yet.
Coors has Blue Moon and a subdivision in Sandlot, and they make fantastic beer.
They do. Amazing lagers in America.
They're my favorite German beers.
So that's
America.
true, but these little divisions like, I'm making this name up because they're always like that, Sunny Lakes or Long River, when they stick like a pale ale in there, it is not anywhere near as good as we think they could produce. Because they're such expert brewers, we think they should be able to blow us away with a pale ale. And the fact is, other than the Sandlot, which is run like a small company in small batches, and if you like Blue Moon, there's not a lot of examples.
No, but the term good is very it doesn't mean anything. Because what's good to you and what's good to me as a craft beer fan is not good to over 50% of the beer drinkers in the nation. So if they want to make a, quote, craft beer that has a little more flavor and a little more this and a little more that than what their Coors Light fans are used to drinking or their Budweiser fans are used to drinking in order to get them to drink their new brand instead of venturing out into the craft beer world and then getting it lost entirely, they're doing a great job.
Okay, so I'll give you that. I think that's an excellent point. Then let me rephrase the question.
Yeah.
Why have they not, if they're going to throw out a pale ale or something, done something that could really be just as good as Pale 31 or almost even just to it's almost just a question just for fun, almost just to prove they can do it. Like, you know what, guys? If we wanted to, check this out. Your Pale 31's got nothing on. So do you have an answer, or are you going to add another question? Because I'm curious what you think about that. Why not do it that way?
I've got a pretty good answer.
Okay.
You've got the guys at the top say, we've been doing it this good. It's not broke. Don't fix it.
Yeah.
Let's look at Anchor. Anchor was doing did just this. They had some awesome brewers. We've had them on the show.
Yeah. And now they're venturing out.
And now they got new owners.
Mm-hmm.
Bam. And all these new, very awesome beers are coming out of them.
So you just think it's from the top down?
From the top down, exactly.
All right.
Top down.
Any other ansers?
No, I have no answer, and that's, to me, that's very frustrating.
Yeah.
I agree. They could make a fantastic pale ale. And wouldn't even have to market it. I mean, it's people would just drink it because it's good.
It is so good.
Well, they've got people that are great at what they do, making their American light lagers. For them, going through the effort and money and investment and breaking their production line to develop and produce a new beer, they could do that, or they could buy 10 Barrel, and make the money from 10 Barrel that 10 Barrel has already cultivated their following and brand and everything, and Anheuser-Busch can just buy them, and then they're making the money.
But a 40,000 barrel following is nothing compared to what they're...
No, that's true. But to back up Beardy's theory, if you look at the breweries that they've bought, they're buying some amazing breweries. Tanya Cornett is the brewer at 10 Barrel. She has countless awards. That's true, but still has countless awards beneath her. Goose Island had a ton of awards. They now have one of the largest barrel age programs ever to grace the face of the earth.
Oh, the sours are so good, too.
Just to back up Beardy's statement, they're not buying slouches. They're buying pedigrees that can brew amazing beer.
And these breweries already have respect within the brewing, within the craft beer community. And versus if Anheuser-Busch came out with another Sunnyside Pale Ale, how many of us are going to go out and try it? Versus, 10 Barrel? They sound like a craft brewery.
Yeah.
And
well, what if it won the category, the GABF category?
Right.
What if they entered 10 craft style beers and they won?
And all of them won.
They won.
Or they could just buy the brewery that won the previous years.
Which maybe that's what they'll start doing year after year. People are like, don't win.
The last thing you want is gold.
Moscow's been talking about how they're losing their edge, like 1%, 2%, 5% a year.
Yeah.
Where are they going to get it back?
Yeah.
The craft market,
They're going to buy somebody like Beardy's talking about, and they're going to boost that up that way. 5% to them is a big deal.
Yeah.
They're going to make money on the growing segment of the beer industry.
Well, I don't think anybody wonders why they're doing it.
Right.
As long as they don't change it to the point where we're not getting craft beer.
Yeah.
But, or squashing the little guy.
Yeah.
And
go ahead, JP.
But that's more to the point as why they're doing it. Like what Beardy said, they're buying the people who do it right.
Yeah.
And in a world where craft is up like 15% or 17%, but overall worldwide beer sales are down like 2 or 4% or something like that. So there's even less of a market to gain back. And so how are you going to do that instead of investing the time and the infrastructure to start brewing a stout as Anheuser-Busch? You're just going to buy the people who do it well, let them do it, put your board as governing them, and start raking in the cash. Not raking in the cash, but making more money.
Again, I don't think anybody questions why. That's all sound business practice. I do get a little surprised by all of the uproar. I think in the end,
exactly.
People are going to forget about it. I do think that craft beer drinkers do have two philosophies. One is more important than the other, but one of them is that the beer tastes great, and I think that'll continue with 10 Barrel as it did with Goose Island and anybody else. But the other philosophy is that we like supporting small business and small companies, and so
that's the difference.
I do think that some decisions could be made, like Tasty made the joke when I said Tanya Cornett's still the brewer. He said, for now, if those things start to change and people quit and get fired, I do think craft beer fans still take note and maybe just lose a little bit of love for their favorite brewery. So I'm curious how far that will go.
Well, what's interesting is nobody made waves about Green Flash buying Alpine.
Well, that's my next story.
So that just came out. That just came out today.
Ooh, we're really current.
And literally, I only saw it a few hours ago.
Yeah.
So I actually think that yes, waves came out instantly with the 10 Barrel thing. There could be waves about this one. What happened today with Green Flash?
Well, guys, along the lines of consolidation, so Alpine, these are down in San Diego, was acquired by Green Flash, also in San Diego, and they intend to increase production there at Alpine. The agreement was signed, like you guys said, just hours ago here on Monday. They did not disclose the terms of the deal. They're going to begin bottling Alpine beers, Green Flashes, in 2015. Each brewery will continue to make its own distinct beers, recipes, labels. You won't notice a difference on the retail side. Mike and Lisa Hinckley will remain in control of Green Flash. Pat and Val McElhaney will retain control of Alpine.
Interesting.
Some numbers for you guys. Green Flash is on track to produce 65,000 barrels of beer this year, about 20 times the production of Alpine.
Wow. I want to give some props to our friend Sully on this story, and here's why. So when I was reading through some of the things about 10 Barrel being bought, and I don't read too many of these comments because I think people just get crazy.
Sully piped in, and that's why I started reading it.
Yeah, exactly. I saw that Sully had piped in on one, and the thing that he mentioned was, in any industry that's growing like the craft beer industry is, one of the phases that naturally takes place, and it always takes place, is consolidation. And we're all up in arms about the big beers buying up the little ones, but what Sully was saying was, watch our own industry. Watch the small breweries start consolidating too, because it's just part of how business gets done. And he was just sort of throwing it out there, like, hey guys, be ready for this. And what is it, 4 days later, after I'm reading that, we see an acquisition like this of a small brewery in San Diego acquiring another small brewery in San Diego. I thought it was very astute of him to pay attention to it, but I also think he's obviously right.
Yeah.
This is going to be really interesting to watch, and people will yell much less about small ones buying up small ones.
Sure, because once you reach a certain level, then it's fine because they're just craft beer. But it's
Right.
that marketing term, man. Craft beer has really made a home in people's lexicon, and it really means something to them, but in reality, it doesn't really mean anything.
I wonder where in these folks' mind the cutoff is.
Right, how big?
What 60,000 barrels, 100,000? Do you have a number in your head when you make
Well,
these
no,
arguments?
but that's what I think we'll see, is that everyone will be okay with these types of acquisitions until, for example, New Belgium and Dogfish Head merge. And now you have these two mega craft breweries who still have small shares in the overall thing. Then people will start to go, oh, well, now this is too much, because it'll be too big, right?
Yeah.
But
Not
whatever
too big for AB InBev. They'll buy them, and then it'll
not too big for them, but too big for to answer Scott's question, too big for craft beer fans.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly what the number is.
They don't either.
But
They don't either. It was a rhetorical question.
It's something on that scale. As soon as Sierra Nevada acquires New Belgium or whatever, like when that happens, you go, oh, snap.
I have a question. Does anybody really care that AB is buying up craft breweries? Like, I don't give a shit.
I
could
don't, but
care less.
A lot of the folks on the comment boards, they do.
Yeah, but I think they care because they think they're supposed to be care. But like, I think in reality, I don't know. I don't
worried.
care. I don't care.
I'd be more worried if Pabst bought up.
10
Barrel.
Well, they're Russian.
Then that's going to
If they're trying to buy them up to shut them down, so all we're drinking is Budweiser,
right? Which is not their intention.
Which is not what's happening. But
intention.
I've heard Goose Island that's being brewed at the AB plants is not the same as it used to be in the microbrewery. Which of course it's not. It's different systems, dummy. But the barrel stuff is tasting really, really good. It's
great.
I don't have a problem buying Goose Island beer before. I don't have a problem now. I don't give a shit who owns it. I don't care.
So I have an answer to that, because when it comes to Goose Island and 10 Barrel, didn't really feel like I had any skin in the game.
Yeah.
I've never had a 10 Barrel beer unless I had one at GABF or something and
On
don't
accident,
remember.
right.
I had definitely had some Goose Island, but it didn't really hold a place in my heart. But here's an example of something that I would care about. If Firestone Walker got bought by AB InBev tomorrow, I'd be worried. I would have something to say. I wouldn't maybe rant like everybody else, like, oh, it's the end of the world, because I don't know what happens. But to me, I would instantly worry, is my favorite brewer, Matt Brynildson, going to get fired? Is the beer going to change? Is the way they produce those anniversary beers that have been so amazing to us, is that process no longer going to involve local wineries? So I do care. That's an example for me where I've got some skin in the game, because I'm such a fan of this brewery. I have their beer so often, it's a part of my life. I can see people getting, and I think that's some of these 10 Barrel people. That's their local brewery. They do care. So to me, that's an example of when I would care.
But where's the cutoff? If Sam Adams bought Firestone Walker, would you care?
Yes. If any large other brewery than the people running it that are doing so great with it right now and producing the beer I love so much, then I would raise questions. I would be worried.
But maybe it's not about the size of who acquires them, but it's what they do when they acquire them. Because
that's right.
Even if 10 Barrel acquired Firestone in some alternate universe, well, we're going to keep Matt Brynildson. We're letting them do everything exactly the same because we love Firestone. Well, then it's a non-starter.
I agree with you, except that historically, when larger companies buy smaller companies, that's not what happens. So there's plenty of evidence to say that when a big company comes in and buys a smaller one, changes are made that change those very things we're talking about. In the name of downsizing, in the name of saving money, in the name of doing things that make a more successful business on paper. So I think that just the precedent worries people. And it would worry me about Firestone, because I don't want anything to change.
And why wait and see when I can blog or tweet
short-sighted.
about it?
Matt's out. You, your dad, and you.
He's pointing at me.
Oh, you guys get this masthead brewer now.
Oh, I see. We then get to hire. I see. You're saying we're short-sighted because
he's a free
Matt
agent.
Middleton.
Matt,
That's another topic. But
Oh my
JP,
God.
do you see what I mean? Why there might?
I see what you
why
mean.
I would care.
And
Yeah,
so
but you're in the 1%.
Yeah, so I understand because you are a consumer. But I guarantee you that I would say 75% of the people who are commenting about the 10-barrel acquisition have never had a 10-barrel bill. And like you said, they don't have a skin in the game.
Yeah.
And so that's my thing. That was kind of my point is if you've never had a beer, if you're not in their market, which we're not in their market, I don't care. I don't care what happens because there are so many good craft breweries out there that if that one starts making a less than stellar beer,
it's going to fail.
Our attention will just turn. There's so many craft breweries that it doesn't matter if one gets bought out, one goes under. I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my 10 breweries that I go to locally, and that's it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
The brothers make their money.
I don't mean to yell.
No, I actually see your point.
The brothers made their money. They
Absolutely.
sold out, and as long if it's making the same brew, everybody's happy. If it's not, JP's right.
I don't care.
So let me answer that just too. That I always have this feeling too when you say like the brothers made their money. I don't like getting when people get angry at the owners too.
Oh, yeah.
Like because for me, I actually feel like wait a second. Did these two just like realize the American dream? They bought something.
Totally.
They can now go live on an island somewhere. I don't know the details.
Yeah.
So I don't like people getting angry at the owners because I feel like you started a small
100%.
business. This is the American dream. But I do relate to people becoming worried about what the product will turn into because I would worry too if it were one of my favorites.
Here it is. It's like when you're 14 and your favorite band signs the big record label.
Sellouts.
Yeah.
And it's like, you sold out. You can't. What are you guys doing, man? And it's like they haven't like Green Day.
Yeah.
Their music hasn't changed since they started. Well, a little bit.
sucks.
Got a little harder.
Yeah,
but
it's still been-
but
still been
it's a
bad.
little more
It
rock and
sucks.
roll, a little less emo. But for the most part, it's the same.
Yeah.
But people who were fans of them before they signed, or they're sellouts, bro.
Yeah.
You can't do that. It's the same. It doesn't matter. You just want to be angry at something because that was your thing. It was your passion. Nobody else knew about it. You could go on a forum and go, hey, I got some 10-barrel beer to trade.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, in 6 months, everyone who has a Safeway within 10 blocks is going to have that same beer.
Well, that's the argument that they're worried about.
Yeah, and so, but it'll still be, I don't know, it'll be just everyone calm down, have a beer. It's fine.
All right, I see both sides. What else we got?
All right. Well, speaking of
Johnny
nuttiness
Mitchell song
on social media,
it's both sides now.
All right, go ahead, Moskowitz, the other Scott.
here's a tweet that nearly cost Revolution Wines in Sacramento a 10-day suspension of its liquor license. Quote, 2 days till at Save Mart Grape Escape in downtown Sacramento. Get tickets and info here. And then there's a link. And it wasn't even Revolution Wine's tweet, actually. They had retweeted the post from the Sacramento Convention and Visitors Bureau Twitter. But as far as the ABC was concerned, the message was a major no-no. Because by naming a retailer in the tweet, Revolution Wines had violated Tide House laws, a system that arose after Prohibition to create independence among alcohol producers, distributors, retailers. So exceptions exist, but producers are not allowed to explicitly promote retailers. And these are kind of tricky rules to navigate in the social media age. And just a tweet singling out a bottle shop or a supermarket can be construed by the ABC as furnishing free advertising.
Yeah, so just to elaborate this on a little bit, we've discussed this on the show before, but not in great detail because it is a little difficult to navigate. But what comes to my mind is you guys might remember back several years when Peter Hoey had started Odonata Brewing Company.
That's
and
right.
Odonata came on here, and Peter was very careful about what the legalities of promoting his brewery were. And the reason it stands out to me is because so many other brewers come in here and are not as careful. And I think the reason is that it's, for one, hard to get caught. Two, the rules get so cloudy that you're actually unsure what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do because some of the things are not common sense, what you're not allowed to do. But here's where this one came to mind. I remember asking Peter Hoey, where can people buy Odonata?
Yeah.
And Peter saying very specifically, I can't answer that question. And what it came down to is that I had to ask a very specific question in order for him to answer it. The question had to be something like...
Can I buy it here?
Where can I buy Odonata Brewery within a 1-block radius of the Hop Grenade in Todos Santos
You have to
Plaza?
specify exactly where?
And then he could say, oh, you can buy it at the Hop Grenade.
Wow.
Because he wasn't giving preferential treatment to one retailer over another retailer.
Versus if you asked, where can I buy it in Concord?
Yeah.
You would at least have to list 2 or 3.
Okay.
Or everybody.
Or everyone.
Right.
And by the way,
at a
ask your
minimum-
lawyer about these. We're
Right.
sort of speculating.
At
here.
a minimum, you have to make a list. You can't just say at the Hop Grenade if it's if you're asking in Concord, where can I get
If you're asking less specifically than literally
Right.
giving like a 1 mile or a 1-block radius, if there were other retailers in the area.
Do you think John at Beer Law Center knows this stuff?
I'm sure John does, although his thing is trademarks anyway.
I bet he knows
And we're
this.
talking
But you-
California law. here.
And
It's-
that's
Am
true.
I allowed to plug John, by the way? Is that
Absolutely.
okay?
Yeah, that we're allowed to do.
In this city?
But you do need to get in your own state, too, but this is about a California ABC law. You need a California ABC lawyer to help you figure. So this was a very innocent thing to do. There was a festival coming, and...
Yeah, an employee just retweeted it.
Just
Right.
retweeted.
It wasn't like...
But it was a retweet from a retailer that carried their wine. And I think a brewery did it as well. And
Yeah, it was actually, in this case, Revolution Wines was one of 8 different breweries and wineries to get investigated by the ABC over this whole thing.
here's a question, and I think maybe you have this from the story. How did it come under the ABC's radar that these small companies were tweeting?
Well, allegedly, it was a concerted effort by a certain large-scale producer of wines. The ABC will not name the company, but apparently they have a huge team of legal assistants, and they scour the web looking for people to rat out.
Interesting.
So we don't really know who's
Yeah.
playing the hardball. I mean, Revolution Wines produces fewer than 10,000 cases annually. This is a blip on the radar of the tens of millions of cases produced by the company that did this.
Right.
Whoever it is.
So here's why I like this story, and I'm glad you put this in the news. I really want brewers to pay attention and be aware of this, because as the market gets more competitive and as there's more breweries doing this sort of trouble is going to arise. So they got threatened with what, a 10-day suspension or what?
It was you had
or a year of probation. They could take the 10-day suspension.
Oh, yeah.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Or they could take a year of probation. They had their choice.
Right, exactly. And all of the businesses took the probation because 10 days of lost revenue is they would rather just be on probation and take their chances.
So if they accidentally do this again, and I'm not being sarcastic when I say accidentally because the rules are a little strange sometimes, they will get shut down for the 10 days.
Yes, that will go into effect,
else
yes.
does it to
It's
them.
a condition of their
Right.
probation.
Right.
So here's why I wanted to talk about this for brewers in California, and you should check what your own state laws are too. But a lot of times we have brewers coming on here on the show at the Hop Grenade, and I think that either accidentally or inadvertently, our guests will say, "Hey, we're on live at the Hop Grenade tonight, and our beer is on tap." And as much as we love you doing that, you're not allowed to do that. A better way to do it when you're dealing with retailers is to say, and like in our example, hey, I'm going to be on at the Hop Grenade tonight. Join the show. And then when we retweet it, as a retailer, we're allowed to say that your beer is available here. So I can then say, X brewer is going to be here, and we've got their beer on tap, too.
Come down
What
and
about
join
if
us.
they said,
But I'm a retailer.
We're enjoying our beer on tap in the studio, being the Brewing Network?
I would worry. Well, first of all, you wouldn't be enjoying your own beer on tap in the studio.
But you wouldn't be.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be selling it.
Have you had
So-
your beer?
No, if you're going to have a person at a
Is it good?
location,
Yes.
then you can say that your beer is going to be there.
You can?
You can say, Jamil and Liz are going to be at Original Gravity tomorrow night pouring their beers.
That's allowed.
Come by and visit. That is allowed.
It's
as long as they're going to be there.
Like I said in the beginning, consult your lawyer. Don't
Yeah.
take my
Yeah,
word for
yeah,
this.
that's
I didn't realize
California.
that. I thought you had to. I thought no matter what, you couldn't say
if
where
somebody's going to be there.
You have to have a brewery representative being there, and it has to be included in the tweet or Facebook post or everything.
that the rep will be there. Oh, well, then by all means, keep promoting you're going to be here, and we're
You
selling
just
your
have to
beer.
make sure that that's in there.
Now, this is, again, just an example of how tricky these rules
No,
are.
yeah, consult your legal people.
Yeah,
definitely.
get yourself a rep, because it's so weird to me that people can't. I get where it stemmed from. It was that, back in the day after Prohibition, when the big breweries came about, you could essentially buy a location. Like, you could come buy, Anheuser-Busch could come to the hop grenade and go, look, if we'll give you X, this, that, and the other
Put
thing.
it in your whole cooler system.
All you got to do is pour our beer all the time.
Beer off invoice.
And the little guy could never compete, and we'd say, yeah, sorry, we're a bud house.
Right.
So I get where it came from originally, but now it certainly makes things tricky for small brewers just trying to promote where you can find their beer.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was also Bud doesn't open a bar.
Right.
They don't open a tap house. They have all these Budweiser, and then they're pumping out through their advertising.
Their own, yeah.
Right, exactly.
Go to Joe's on 3rd instead of all the other places that have Budweiser,
Right.
so they get more money out of it.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting story.
Yeah.
California breweries and in your own state as well, if you're not from California, pay attention to this stuff. We don't want you getting in trouble for what seems like just some innocent promotion.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, well, I'm going to end the news today with a listener named John K. wrote in and said that he wanted to be in charge of and host the beer news today, and that I would just do the verbal relay on his behalf. So let's end it with a little lightning round of the stories that John K. thought were newsworthy. Sierra Nevada has announced that they will be releasing a new Pilsner in January, Nooner Pils. It will be year-round available both in cans and bottle. Sierra Nevada Bill says it's not quite Summerfest, but is similar. Alpine acquired by Green Flash. Goose Island amps up Bourbon County Stout brands for Black Friday release. On Friday, November 28th, Goose Island will release their Bourbon County Stout in lots of cities. I'm not going to name them all. Omegang Game of Thrones is set to release the next beer this spring, a Saison called Three-Eyed Raven. Dogfish Head Beer 1000 is on its way. A music collaboration with Guided by Voices. It is an Imperial Lager, and hopefully it is better than the awful Pearl Jam collaboration beer they did, and hopefully better than the letdown My Antonia as well. And there's a few more, but that's it, John. Sorry. That's the news brought to you by homebrewstuff.com. Skip the lines and save big this Black Friday through Cyber Monday. Yeah, skip the lines and save big at homebrewstuff.com/promotions. They're good to us. Go be good to them.
I'm sorry to say it, Scott, but I sort of like John's version of the news.
It's a little better.
Kind of more
concise.
Well, I wouldn't say better. You don't have to listen to us fucking philosophize for 45 minutes.
I like Guided by Voices. All right.
So Imperial Lager.
John, you should continue to write to Scott, and maybe at the end of every beer news, we should do the lightning round. I really kind of like it. It was good. Got it out quickly. All right, is that it for today?
Well, we have a phone call.
Of course you do.
And Twitter.
It's a man named Justin Case, and he's either calling from Stockton, California, or Concord, California. And when you speak to him, you'll understand why I couldn't tell.
Concord.
Stockton, California, or Mars?
Concord.
All right, Justin Case, what's happening?
Greetings, Brewcaster.
Oh.
How you guys doing?
We're doing all right. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Stockton, California.
Stockton, Bevo.
Weird.
What do you got,
baby?
What do you got, shit in your ears?
Yeah,
I said Stockton or Concord.
Get that burrito out of your ear.
No,
the name.
It's Stockton.
I know the name.
What's
right, cool.
What's the purpose of your call today, Justin?
Dude, I want to be drunk of the week.
I had to ask it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he would have said something else. I don't know.
I want to be your limo driver.
I have commentary on the acquisition of 10 Barrel.
Yeah.
I'm positive JP has cancer. It's following up for the beginning of the show.
I can smell it from here.
I've been drinking these packets of Insta beer.
Justin, have you ever had Insta beer?
No, I have never had Insta beer. I've had many gallons of beer.
What have you
Insta beer.
Tonight.
What have you had tonight?
Tonight. Well, I'm looking at a.
As if this is a surprise question.
Right. Oh, you want to know drinking?
I've been shot it. Hold on. I have been drinking. I drank Widmer. It was a 12-pack of Upheaval.
A 12-pack?
What's Upheaval?
Upheaval.
Upheaval.
What is it?
Upheaval. It's an IPA.
What time did you start?
5:30.
Good man.
12-pack.
God damn it. What else? Go on.
And now I'm drinking an old Chub Nitro from Oscar Brewing in Colorado.
From Oscar Wild.
Wait, how are you having it on Nitro? Is it coming in the can on Nitro now?
Yeah, it's in the can on Nitro. I got it right here in my hand.
I'm not lying to you, Scott. I got it right here.
I don't believe
it.
Right got to send a picture. I don't believe you.
He's got a long line
They've got some patented method of doing it.
That's a good beer. I love that old Chub.
Well, Justin Case.
This shit is fucking badass.
Is that on the label, or you're making that up?
It's a tagline.
Yeah.
Who brews that?
Well, it doesn't say badass on the label, ass hats, but it is pretty badass. Yeah.
Do you have to be at work tomorrow?
Yeah.
What do you do?
But it doesn't matter.
What do you do for a living?
I work for it's cable construction.
Okay. Nothing important.
Basically built. Yeah, well, it's not important. You know, it's just fucking cable. You're
not going to kill anybody.
No, he's gonna.
Well, what kind of
He's
cable
that guy
is it?
holding up the shovel
For bridges?
Yeah, for the eastern span of the
Right.
bridge.
Yeah. I never drive on that bridge.
He's like, I put in gas lines for PG&E. Oh.
Yeah. We got a job in Concord, right in Todos Santos.
Did you say Stockton?
All right, just in case, you are the winner of Drunk of the Week.
You're kidding me?
Yeah. That's right. Send Bevo an email to bevo@thebrewingnetwork.com, and she will send you a prize, my friend. That's right. We reward your type of behavior around here.
Thank you, dude.
All right, brother. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the call.
Enjoy the rest of your night.
Yeah.
iHurl.com.
Later. Okay, there we have it. A wonderful edition of Drunk of the Week. Let's get out of here. Before we do, let me let you know quickly that Dr. Homebrew is going to be recording this month, Thursday, November 20th. Is that right, JP?
Yeah, I think.
Thursday, November 20th. We've got lots of shows on the program, on the network, rather, including the new Sour Hour, Dr. Homebrew. Jamil's shows are still there with Brew Strong and Brewing with Style.
Yeah,
You can
we're
do
on
tomorrow
tomorrow.
night? With Brewing with Style?
Yes.
Excellent. Tomorrow night, live here at the Hop Grenade.
It's a lot of new shows.
Yeah, don't forget about all our other programming. It's wonderful, and check it out.
And we're live at Anchor a week from tonight.
Ah, that's right.
That should be fun.
That's going to be a good show. I do hope, do we confirm if we can broadcast live? I know they gave us their internet specs, but it's always kind of up in the air.
It's looking like yes as of now,
Okay.
but we don't know till we get there.
All right, I will try to make sure that you guys know ahead of time. I'm going to get there early in the day and check the internet connection. I do hope to do the normal broadcast where you can listen to the audio and watch the video live from Anchor, but we'll let you know. Worst case scenario, we'll record the whole thing and put it up on the site the next day. So,
wish you were there.
Yeah. All right, is that it?
Twitter game.
Let's get out. Oh, Twitter game. That's right.
Twitter.
What was our Twitter game, JP?
Our Twitter game was if you had to introduce one brewcaster to a member of your family, who would it be and why?
That's right.
We actually got some really good responses from this one. So Mike Fitzpatrick says Tasty. He would introduce Tasty to his mom because his mom is single.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Giles says JP because he's friendly, knows Disneyland, and is easy on the eyes.
Oh.
Yeah. By the way, my hashtag, my Twitter name is Giles. Don Boyle says this is easy. JP because nothing more than meeting JP would make my parents happy that I am their son.
Yeah. That's so backhanded.
Ouch.
Duke Guerin says Justin, his parents would totally get the VW thing. The rest of you are too fucked up.
There we go. Wow, if you guys are more fucked up than me, that's a problem.
Yeah. Andy Wood says JP to my dad because he's deaf. My dad, not JP. Case closed. Apparently, I would talk to his dad, and his dad would go, I don't understand.
Hey.
Huh? JBone1717 says Beardy. He's blind, so I just introduce him to a couple mannequins and tell him that they're really quiet.
And then he'd be like, wow, your parents are lovely. What a nice couple.
This is the best night.
Yeah. S. Blankenship says he would introduce Tasty to his kids because his kids need to learn about the circle of life.
Right you are, Ted.
Then it ends?
Near the end.
Yeah. Pies, he says, JP to my sister. She loves Disneyland and hates homebrew. Perfect. Sounds great.
How old is sister?
I don't know.
49. She look like?
Oh, yeah.
Sugar Valley Brewer says, I'd want my son to meet Tasty. I'd say, son, look at him. That's what whiskey, beer, and harlots do to a man.
Harlots. Who says harlots?
That's an upgrade for
Sugar
me.
Valley. Well, have you noticed, if it's not Bevo's ass, it's harlots.
Kim,
I see. We got our own.
I think it's one and the same.
Sugar Valley wrote in a new song about Kim Shimke, by the way.
I was going to say, his content has been very Bevo-free in the last
he wrote in a welcome song to Shimke, but I'm not going to play it till Shimke's here.
Scott Thompson says, Beardy, but I would disguise my family as cardboard cutouts. I don't think he would notice.
It's the same joke.
Yeah, similar.
Yeah.
Gay Kyle says to my Tasty to my mother because I don't want to be be a bastard anymore. I don't know my dad. Seriously.
Tasty. Daddy Tasty for Gay Kyle.
A new stepson.
Tasty. Gay Kyle needs a daddy.
We can hang.
I like the seriously part. Onamar says, my mother-in-law to Tasty, because they both need to get laid.
Oh.
Plus, she cooks, and Tasty looks hungry all the time.
Well, it's munchies.
Well, yeah.
All right.
That's the basis for a relationship.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Matt Hudson says...
Rail and his mother-in-law.
Pale rail.
Give her the old pale rail.
Matt Hutchins says, Bevo's ass, no explanation necessary. And last but not least, our friends at Melavino Meadery says, I would pick Justin. My grandmother would kiss his feet, but then be confused as to why Jesus has piss stain on his jeans.
He's probably right.
Yeah.
Well, I like the one about Tasty and the eating. And
the eating and the thing.
And the one
claiming.
about the beardy and the mannequins. Those are my two favorites.
Okay. Let's do those.
All right, is that good?
That's
so we'll
good.
vote on those two. Raise your hand for either one. First, Tasty and the food.
Eating.
The eating.
Mother-in-law.
That's 3 votes there. And then Beardy and the mannequins. That's 4 votes there.
There you go.
Beardy and the mannequins win.
I've never met a mannequin I didn't like.
That's right. I've never not seen anything I didn't like. What? All right. So who? What was the name of that one?
Oh, I already closed the window. I don't know.
Oh. Person who did Beardy and the mannequins, send Bevo an email. That's bevo@thebrewingnetwork.com. She will send you a prize for winning our Twitter game this week. All right, we good?
We're good.
Get us out of here, JP. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. Explore the world of experimental brewing with Drew Beecham and Denny Kahn in their new book. Follow JP on Twitter and Major Jip for all things video games. I mean, esports. Warren was pretty sure he was here, although he'd be hard-pressed to prove it. Doc was sucking down syrupy beer with a smile. For some good beer inside and homebrew info, follow Nate Smith at Nathan Homebrew and Mike McDowell at Tasty McD. Production director on the session has been Push Eject. Today's show has been produced by Scott Moskowitz. JP was still recovering from his convergence of nerddom. Bevo was not ordering tacos fast enough the entire show. And your host was Justin Crossley. Be sure to find the Brew Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy and when